Mulis going in here. We do actually have a scan coming up from Dandy. GG! And now there definitely is. There's almost more DTs than SCVs, and GG! Best, he lost his main base earlier on. He's losing Templar left and right to the Mulisks. And GG! Here. He doesn't even realistically need to mine this now. Another mine does go down. That could be a big mine, but it's not going to be enough. GG! It's 5 versus 8. That's not going to be enough with the Scourge coming in as well. All of the Mulis go down for Whistler. And GG! As he moves in before too many units have produced the Sunkens. Gonna go down, and it's gonna be Lings against stimmed Marines. Of course, the Marines don't have a medic with them, so any stim they do is gonna weaken them. But the first medic is coming up here, and GG! But Oyaji is going in. This is gonna be the moment the scan either holds or Oyaji wins this game. GG! And it looks like Kai2 with 4 Zerglings may have actually done enough to kill DeWalt. Yes, he has. GG! And this is the big reveal. 4 Dragoons coming in here at speed first. No mines here to defend. GG! Slowly but surely, Scan is really going to try and bring a stranglehold in. And this is going to be a free tank here. GG! It's the ground here. And the Natural's been busted. That could be it. GG!
Matter. This is going to, I mean, pretty much seal the deal here. And SouL are looking at a 3-0. Oh, he's going to kill the Robo before the Reaver comes out. This is actually totally tragedy. Can't repair your buildings if you're not Terran kicks. And he's even going to lose the Nexus here. This is basically game over. And damn if we just didn't make it barely past the 6-minute mark.
Hello everyone and welcome to the STPL. We're here for the semi-finals once again. It's day 2 of a possible 3 days as we get into our first series here. Of course, hello to Rapid once again.
And of course, hello to everybody else out there. Thanks for tuning in to the STPL Grand Finals. I know it's been a long time coming, but your patience is paying off. The games yesterday, I would say they were pretty one-sided. We only had kind of one, magical little, win there at the end, but it was pretty dominant. And so I'm hoping that teams can kind of figure out what went wrong yesterday, maybe bring it back today. Apparently there are some whispers that the games are very good, but we'll hopefully have some good games for you so that you can cheer for us.
Yeah, and the important thing to note as well is these games weren't played today. There was actually a week in between these games, so a lot of time for people to prepare, people to train, and a lot of stuff can happen within a week. So, I mean, let's have a quick look at our first 2 teams. If you didn't see them yesterday, it's going to be SouL and iRk. Now, SouL actually did get the win yesterday. They won 3-1, so they did actually take their 5th series. Their 4th in a row against iRk actually, so things are a little bit more difficult for them, well, at least for iRk anyway.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Yeah,
out there at the end for me.
Okay, so what I was basically saying is SouL won yesterday, so the pressure is on for iRk. If iRk can't win today, they will not make it into the grand finals, so it's a little bit tough.
It certainly is, and I mean it's hard, right? Going up against SouL, they're super stacked. They're the team that the Mighty Ducks would have to beat at the end of the movie. They're the ones that they push down the kids and make them cry in the soccer field. They're like the big bad, beast at the end that you have to beat to prove that you're the underdog. I don't know if iRk are that underdog, but I definitely think they have the potential to do it if they structure their lineup right. I mean, they put DeWalt in 4th position. I'm just like, well, by that time they had already lost, so it's like, well, I don't know if that's really going to help you out. And so he picked up a win, and I was like, wow, that's super, super cool. But you've already lost, so that's not good enough. You got to bring your heavy hitters, and hopefully that's enough.
Well, I mean, bringing their heavy hitters is certainly what they're going to do. Rather than 4th, this time we're going to have DeWalt in 1st position. Our first game is going to be Scan versus DeWalt. Now, yesterday, DeWalt played against Bjorn, and he got that win with mass DT, pretty much. Second game is going to be Zealot versus Aru. That's going to be a ZVP. We're then going to have a ZVZ between Spire and Jerry on Icarus. And then we're going to have a PvP between Noob and Oyaji on Hitchhiker. So a couple of, well, all 4 of our maps weren't in the map pool yesterday. They're all returning from previous, previous eras, I guess, of STPL, Season 1, 2, sorry, not season, round 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think the games we got lined up today should be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the JK97 is actually quietly super sick, so I'm very excited to see him play against Spire. DeWalt versus Scan could go either way. Aru versus Zealot, my man Aru might have his work cut out for him there.
Yeah.
But if it does get down to Noob versus Oyaji's no joke. He's held some of those high elo spots in the standings at some points in time, so definitely don't count him out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to watch it.
Yeah, so if we actually have a look at our first set of players, you'll know them very well by this point, even if you don't follow the STPL, they've been around for ages. Scan, of course, won his game yesterday against Arcneon. It was a little bit of a macro game on Pathfinder. Arcneon wasn't able to do the damage he needed to do with his Reaver, and he just kind of had a lot of trouble against the macro of Scan as the game went further on. But DeWalt is a little bit of a stronger opponent for him here. I mean, DeWalt is an absolute boss. He beat Bjol yesterday, so admittedly it was a bit of a weird build that maybe Bjol wasn't expecting. But that's exactly what you need to do in a team league. You come out, you bring something unexpected, and you get the wins.
Yeah, in truth, DeWalt has some of the downest and dirtiest crazy stuff that he can do to you. I mean, you know, Protoss player, but for the most part, he's just so good. You never know what to expect when you walk through that door. So I definitely think that that's, you know, the right way to start things out for iRk, especially if they can get a win on the board against one of their strongest opponents.
Yep, and we're going to be heading into our first map of today. Wasn't here yesterday, it's going to be Judgment Day. Now this is another one of my favorite maps in the entire game. It was actually one of the first maps I ever saw when I was watching Pro League, at least. I mean, I think the first ever map I saw was like Guillotine, I think it is, which is kind of like Judgment Day, but like the predecessor. But Judgment Day, really cool, major map features. It's all flat, there's no high ground, apart from the high ground pods above the natural expansions. Really good for drops, so Scan is going to be feeling pretty good about that, but not to roll out high Templar drops as well with Storm. There's a kind of weird mineral-only third base, which actually blocks your natural and your main, so it gives you a position to defend, so really easy to get that super early for our Terran player. Protoss can obviously do the same thing, but Protoss is more than likely going to be heading into another main natural combo, I think, to get their third gas.
Yeah, I mean, especially for Judgment Day, the biggest thing is that it's flat, so you don't have like the high-low ground shenanigans that you do for a lot of maps. And that just changes everything because you don't have that security of a high ground main or natural or whatever it is. So it really does change the dynamic of the map. And it's kind of interesting. Sometimes less is more. So by having less terrain, it's actually more interesting when it comes to the way that changes how you defend and attack in different spots. So yeah, really cool map. Glad we brought it back.
Yep.
But I don't know what to expect here. Definitely some crazy shenanigans.
I mean, one thing to note is over a year ago, DeWalt actually beat Marine in a PvT on this map, so he has got a little bit of experience. It may have been a long time ago, but let's see if he can use that to his advantage as we get into game number 1. It's SouL versus iRk, Scan versus DeWalt in our second semi-final. Okay, starting us off in the top left-hand position, we do have the purple Protoss fighting for iRk. It's DeWalt.
And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner in the white playing for SouL, it's the Terran player Scan. And oh boy, I'm super excited. Also, I'd like to congratulate Kix on having successfully downloaded more RAM so that we can have buttery smooth frames for today's broadcast.
Well, let's not speak too soon. Let's wait until one of the games is over. But that slow-mo problem I had yesterday was definitely strange. I have no
It's
idea
just the
what was
extra
going on.
production value. You're just trying to up the level that we should expect from the STPL.
Well, the good thing is, hopefully next month I should be purchasing a new PC. It's gonna have a ton of RAM, and I'll actually be able to render proper videos without taking like 4 hours to do like a 1-minute clip. So let's hope that comes in soon. But obviously, before we get that far, we will have the semi-finals and the finals. Now,
Oh boy.
The outcome of the semi-finals could be decided today, or they might be decided on Monday, depending on how these two games go. But the finals, regardless, will not be played next weekend, because next weekend is the ASL qualifiers. So even if neither SouL or WHITECLAN make it through, they've still got the third place match to play. So we're going to delay the finals a week, give the teams 2 weeks to prepare, and hopefully we'll have some amazing finals at the end.
Yeah, I really can't wait. So thanks for letting. Oh, by the way, like half the players on SouL and WHITECLAN play in the finals, and Ian Zerg and all the other kids. But
Yeah.
let's actually kind of talk a little bit about what's going on here, because Judgment Day plays out a little bit differently than a lot of other maps. You don't have the security of high and low ground, so you can't really do a lot of your expand arena shenanigans that you do on a lot of maps, especially when it comes to maybe taking fast thirds versus Protoss, like a lot of Zerg players want to do. For Terran players, if you want to get your natural up, you also have to worry, because if they send their Dragoons to hit your bunker that's supposedly defending, there's they can just do that. There's no high or low ground or really any way to defend it. And where you wall off is weird as well, because you want to wall off at the entrance to your third, not your natural.
Yeah, I mean, the way the dynamic of this map works, you can see the probe going through this gap at the moment. If you're going to be going for some kind of fast expansion, I mean, Scan is going for a factory first, so we'll have that tank out a little bit quicker, but you need the bunker here, and it means it's so far away from your mineral line. Unlike normal, where, especially on a map like Fighting Spirit, you can pull your SCVs and you can get that repair down very, very quickly. You can't do that here. You have to either play overly defensive, or you kind of sit back a little bit longer and wait until you get siege mode to start pushing out to expand.
The other thing is that your natural and your third are just very far away by ground. So, like, you really do have to, or from your main.
Yeah.
So if you pressure the front, say with a DT, and you get dropped in your main, you just gotta run. You just gotta run a very long ways away. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing for the map, and I'm very excited to see what DeWalt wants to do for it. Obviously, he's not going for a super ultra cheese just yet. He did fast expand, which is, I don't want to say greedy, because he did go with 2 gates as well, but he's not going to be putting
Nexus first though, so it was very greedy.
Yeah. So the Nexus first is like the real thing, and he got away with it. I mean, he's not dead yet. I mean, he might get pushed here pretty soon with mines, but I don't even think he's too worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, once you've got those 2 gateways up, like, the only real counter to a 12 next is you bunker rush, because if you can bunker rush at the right time, they don't have their gateway production in, they've only got probes. I mean, obviously you need the bunk to finish, but you can see DeWalt's already got a couple of zealots. His Dragoon production is really going to kick in very, very quickly here, and I mean, Scan is going to be able to expand behind this, but Scan doesn't actually know if there's any tech coming along. If there is tech, what tech it's going to be. DeWalt obviously has the chance of going straight into Stargate if he wanted to, and go for some kind of 2-base carrier play, which can actually be quite good on this map due to the way the walls sort of function. But you can see Scan making use of this kind of small choke outside of his third base here. Going to be able to defend this location and secure a third base if he wants to.
Yep, for sure. Well, I guess technically they both will, but obviously that's much better for the Terran player.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a mineral only, so he's only going to be able to get a few more vultures at a time from it.
Well, okay, yeah, tell me more about how he can get the best unit in the game. Okay, like, I mean, it's actually really interesting. So each one of the races gets different things from mineral only. Like for Zerg, you get Zerglings. For Protoss, you get Zealots. But for for Terran, you can get Marines and Vultures, and especially Vultures. Once you get mines and speed, you're just owning. So this is actually a really strong position here for Scan. But what Scan likes to do is stay on 2 bases, make sure he's rock solid, super airtight, and then just push with 150 supply 2-1 and kill you.
Yeah, now one interesting choice that DeWalt made here is he went straight into Templar Archives. He's going for a Robo Nail. He is, oh, nice micro on those Dragoons, going to keep himself alive against that mine. But against what Scan's doing, skipping Robo for so long is very dangerous. If suddenly Scan push forward with a ton of mines, all of a sudden you're locked out of your natural, and you're stuck in your main behind this very tiny choke. So DeWalt is kind of lucky in a way that Scan isn't playing super aggressively, but obviously Scan still does have the option of going for a timing attack later on.
Yeah, and I would say that that's always kind of like I don't know if you want to call that the fallback plan, but something to keep in mind as, the dread in the back. But hey, this is really actually kind of cool. I'm used to seeing TVP be primarily Vulture tank, but we're already starting to see Charon boosters, Goliaths, come out here, and that's a kind of a real reaction to how droppable just running that shuttle across the north side of the map is into your main. So really gotta prepare for that ahead of time. And Scan is getting ready.
Yeah, it's very close by air. That's one of the things that you can't really tell from the minimap so much, but if we just follow the camera along, you just see, I mean, it is completely all. That's actually another thing that is worth noting about this map. It's pretty much all walkable terrain. So there are the walls that separate the middle of the map, but there's no sort of islands you can really hide over, apart from like the little bit by the natural, but you're always in range of something. But here we go, looks like we are going to have a Dark Templar drop going into the main. 2 Zealots as well. Scan is going to see this. The units haven't been pulled. Scan,
oh no, there's no reaction at all.
I mean, they're probably soon, but...
Yeah, but don't you just try to pick it up? No, I guess it was out of range. I felt like you try to pick it up.
Oh, he's going to lose the shuttle!
Yeah, boom goes the dynamite there. That is about the best possible hold you can get.
Yep, that was the worst possible situation there for DeWalt. Losing that shuttle, losing 2 Zealots and 2 DTs, doing absolutely no damage. I mean, DeWalt didn't necessarily need to do damage with that, but that's units he doesn't have with his main army. And we saw yesterday, Arcneon lost a few units here and there, and slowly but surely, he just couldn't put up with Scan's macro. And, I mean, DeWalt is doing a good job. He's on 3 bases, but Scan is very close behind, and the supply is very close, and that's not really where you want to be as Protoss.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to have the lead, because for Protoss, you want to cycle your army. You want to throw the Zealots away and remake them off of 12 gateways, But we are miles before that is ever going to come to fruition. Honestly, a little bit surprised we don't have another base coming up here pretty soon for DeWalt. Now is basically the only time you're going to get a 4th, while the Terran's getting his 3rd up, and while you're trying to prepare for this crazy strong 2-1 push that's going to come in the future. Do we actually have the next round of upgrades coming through? It looks like no, he's just finishing the armory.
That's really uncharacteristic of Scan, but he was off by about 10-20 seconds, I think, which is a pretty big deal when it comes to this timing push. You need to hit at specific times, because otherwise the Protoss gets more gateways, they get more units, and they get more energy for Arbiters as well. I mean, it looks like, we're seeing Arbiter Tech coming in. No upgrade coming in just yet on those, but they should be coming in soon as well. And just overall, DeWalt is looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, I mean, DeWalt looks solid, and this is, man, it's so deceptive. The way that Protoss players look solid against Scan until they die. Like, they're winning until they lose. It's such a weird experience, because you just see Scan push across the map and win, and it's like, oh wow, that's actually just quite crazy. But here's the big moment, right? We're gonna get 2-1 off of double armories, and we have about 4 more factories coming online, and that's the huge macro bomb that's just gonna explode all over DeWalt.
It's 5 factories now, but the interesting thing is Scan decided to hang back on factories from really early on, so his unit count isn't as big as it could be at this stage of the game. He's been relying a lot on just getting those command centers up quickly. I mean, he's in a position where DeWalt really can't attack him at any point, just because of how this map works. But I mean, DeWalt's getting his 4th base up. He's saturating it pretty like almost immediately, and he's slowly getting closer and closer to max.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting there, and in truth, both players are. The big spike for Scan will come here in a little bit once those factories really kick in. One thing that's actually kind of confusing for me is that you don't see these huge minefields out there on the map.
Yeah.
A lot of that is because Scan switched into Goliaths because he wanted to stop this drop play, and he mission accomplished that like a long time ago. He S+ that mission.
He doesn't even have speed for vultures, but I don't think.
Yeah, he really is playing a way different style that I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean, he did. Oh, there we go. He hasn't got speed. He's only just starting that now, and that's really going to hurt this push. With like, the main thing with speed is it gets the vultures as reinforcements there so much quicker. Oh, and DeWalt's going to catch Scan on siege for the time being, going to force a siege mode, and that's going to hurt the push even more. It's going to slow him down.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty textbook exactly what you want to do.
Yep.
And while these bases are close by air, they're way not close by ground. You have to either go all the way up, at which point your army's way out of position if you get counter pushed from the other side, or you go all the way through the middle, and then vice versa, you can get backstabbed with an airdrop. So this is a very kind of tense situation, and one that Scan's going to need a lot of mines to make up for.
Yeah, now +2 attack is just about to finish. Well, 1 armor's done, so this is the perfect timing for Scan to push. There is the, oh my god, the vessel could have, well, it will have EMP at this point, but will he be able to EMP this Arbiter? This stasis is going to be incredibly important. Now, I didn't see if it was recall or stasis, but DeWalt isn't a big fan of using recalls. Here we go, looks like he is going to push forward.
Oh my god, how good is the stasis going to be? Pretty good, doesn't hit the vessel, but, I mean, there's plenty of zealots up in the front. Now, they won't last forever, but look at this arc of Dragoons. It's just massive. DeWalt killing it in supply right now, and even though there's a pretty deep tank line, I mean, the Dragoons, there's just a million of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to pull back once again. He doesn't want to overextend and lose all of his Dragoons. Things can certainly get a little bit more dangerous, but here we go, more Zealots flooding in defense. The mine could be huge. No, doesn't get as many connections as he wants to. But you can just see the power of those tanks at the back with the 2-1 damage now. Just completely taking down a lot of those goons.
Yeah. In case you're wondering why 2-1's such a big deal, it's 2 shots Dragoons.
Yeah.
I think it, 2-1, does that always 2-shot Dragoons? Or is it only with +1 armor? I think it's with +1 armor. I think if you have +3, then +2 doesn't. Actually, I think it still does. Anyway, +2 is a big deal.
Yeah,
that's
it's a break point.
Break point. And so you're starting to see these Dragoons just melt. I mean, this is just both players trading off, but DeWalt has the macro. He was able to get that 4th base up. He's got like 12 gateways pumping, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12 gateways pumping Zealots and Dragoons and gateway units over and over again, and resetting the Terran's tank counts especially. Such a big accomplishment.
Especially because Scan is still on 2 gas. This isn't Fighting Spirit. He's not pumping out 3 tanks at a time. And I know people say that mines and vultures are like overpowered, but it really is the siege tank that's the big deal here. All of those mines could have been bad, but luckily enough does manage to avoid most of that damage. I didn't see if any probes went down. I think he killed a few of them.
Going for it again, just using the cloaking field, no stasis here, but he ran into a huge minefield. So, I mean, we were talking about DeWalt's macro, but he just threw away his entire army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of units down at the bottom. I think that was a little bit of a misclick there, but that will be very costly. Now, the closer Scan gets to this natural, the closer he gets to cutting off these side bases, the harder it's going to be for DeWalt. Now, DeWalt still doesn't have enough energy for another stasis, so looks like one either just about has enough or will do soon. But you can see trying to keep those probes alive, very important right now.
Yeah, the probes are kind of the lifeline. You got to keep the macro going. But more than that, DeWalt's got to kind of get it together. Yeah, he's a little bit all over the place right now. He's going to kind of spread out here, but look at that. Scan's building an engineering bay in the middle of the map just to make these Zealots' lives even more miserable.
Yeah, it's a really it's also going to help him with vision as well. Just makes it a little bit harder. Mines going off everywhere on DeWalt's army, though. DeWalt's doing a good job holding on, but the trouble is Scan's macro really kicking in. The 4th base coming in now as well. SCV's just transferring over. And when that 3rd gas kicks in, DeWalt's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. You can try to mind drag here. Maybe that's the way you get a big moment. But otherwise, I think DeWalt just doesn't have enough. Look at that. He's basically only fighting the vultures while the tanks just hit for free.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate for DeWalt. He was doing so well, but Scan with great positioning in the middle of the map, great usage of those vultures, even if they did come a little bit late. And I mean, DeWalt's going to go around, see if he can try and hit the back angle, but there's so many mines in the way of him.
Yeah, if he had Dragoons here, then he could just clear that. I guess he's going to bring the Dragoons forward, but look, it's only Zealots. The Zealots are just going to explode to these mines. Oh my goodness, all the Zealots. I mean, this is the express mode, like the fast way to clear the mines, but you wind up with no Zealots. So yeah. It's a nice stasis though, but he just doesn't have anything else. GG, wow, DeWalt taps out, and man, Scan just got into such a strong position there in the center of the map. Wow, I didn't expect it to end exactly then, but I think DeWalt kind of knew the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, it's one of those problems where DeWalt didn't really have any options after a while. He tried to take his 5th base at the mineral only for some reason. I guess he thought, well, if I can gain this ground, I can then get the other main. But imagine if he had the other main. Imagine if he had more gateways at the south or something. But I think the main problem DeWalt had that game was he was just hemorrhaging units. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah, especially the Zealots. I felt like his Zealot to Dragoon ratio is a little bit off. You saw him with this huge arc of Dragoons, and I'm just like, wow, you know, that's a lot of Dragoons. But like Dragoons without Zealots is just, it's so much less potent than if you have the Zealots there to either tank the tank shots or just buffer for the Dragoons. So in the end, that's a big win for SouL. It takes out one of the heavy hitters of iRk and puts them on the board 1-0.
Yep, so we'll be back in just a second with our second game. It's going to be Zealot versus Aru. Guys, we are back with some more STPL semi-final action. We're going to be heading into game 2 between SouL and iRk. It's Zealot versus Aru. So let's quickly introduce our players and then we can kind of get into the game, of course. But I mean, it's unfortunate the way that last game went, but obviously that's going to make it a little bit harder for iRk now. Aru is going to have to get a win on the board here if he wants to make it a little bit easier for his team to make it to the ace match. But obviously, if SouL win overall today, they will be our first team heading in to the grand finals. So standing up here for SouL is going to be Zealot. He's not played too many games. The only 2 games actually played in the STPL, one was against Dragon, and one was actually against Aru before, where he won. That was back in April this year, so not too long ago since they last played. Maybe Aru can have a look at that old replay and see if he can learn something from it. But it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, Brood War hasn't been patched since then, so the lessons you learned that time are still around.
Yeah.
The only problem is I don't know if Aru really has a whole lot of experience playing in STPL. Like obviously he plays Brood War, but STPL you got to kind of get used to the teams, the players, and maybe our own little STPL meta, but. I don't know. I think Aru is a little bit of an underdog here, not only just for elo or win rate, but just because Zealot is one of the best players on the planet. So good luck with that.
Yeah, things are definitely going to be awkward here for Aru, but he's going to do the best he can as we get into map number 2. It's the fan favorite 3-player map that was voted back in. It's Neo-Aztec. Now, it doesn't surprise me to see Neo-Aztec back here. Neo-Aztec, obviously a very, very standard 3-player map. It's kind of funny how it kind of came back into favor, and also how the map balance changed. Back when this map was super popular in sort of 2011, Aztec in 2010, TVP, I know we're kind of not looking at TVP, was pretty much unwinnable for Terrans. Like, Protoss just completely wrecked Terran on this map. That was just how the map worked. And it was kind of similar to that in ZVP as well. But when it came back, it was obviously in the ladder. Spawn games were a lot more balanced on this map now. And in STPL, ZVP was very balanced. It was 4 for 5, so in favor of Protoss, going to be a little bit better for Aru. But either way, it's just a really, really strong 3-player map.
I love 3-player maps. I think the asymmetry just kind of gives me life. It means you can't split the map in half. You have to make some hard decisions. And oftentimes it favors aggressors who are more willing to take some of these valuable locations. I think the biggest parts about this map are, besides its just kind of rotational symmetry, is which way you want to expand. I think you really get a chance to customize a lot of your playstyle on this map based on which third base you take. If you take like the southern mineral only, or if you want to take another gas base, which is pretty far away by ground. So I don't know. I just love it. I think drop play is super strong here. So maybe that's a way Aru can kind of get around Zealot's preparation. I don't know. I just want to watch it happen.
Yeah, let's jump into the game. It's game number 2, Zealot versus Aru. Okay, and starting us off here in this bottom left-hand position, we do have the orange Protoss fighting for iRk. It's Aru.
And his opponent in the teal, playing for SouL as Zerg, it is Zealot. Got a chance to hang out with this guy at ACS qualifiers down in Busan, or in SouL, I guess. No, it was Busan. It actually took Zealot quite a long time to qualify. I was just thinking through this because Zealot and Beast and one of the other kids, Spire, they all went to all 4 of the stops together to try to qualify. And out of those players, Zealot was the one that made it. So he is absolutely the real deal. You can copy, steal any of his builds. He's got a sick interview that came out on Team Liquid, I believe, and he has a sick video on his YouTube channel that goes over a lot of builds. It's a lot of it's translated into English. He actually speaks pretty good English, even though he pretends like he doesn't. So he's actually really, really smart. So definitely somebody that you should watch for more stuff.
Oh, the big thing in this game already rearing its head here, Aru. I thought he was going for a gate expand, but it's actually going to be a 2-gate. Going to try and catch Zealot off guard. Zealot going for that overpull into speed though, so not overpull into a hatchery. And this is going to really benefit Zealot, because if he gets speed out, all of a sudden these Zealots that Aru is going to have aren't going to be nearly as powerful. So hopefully Zealot's going to be able to do that. Now, one thing to note is as Rapid said before, if you want to steal Zealot's builds, you can, and a good way of being able to do that is if you want to donate to the STPL Patreon, there is a $5 tier where you get access to all of the replays from all of the STPL so far, including the Christmas Cup from last year, and Zealot has played a lot of games in there, so if you do want to get some of his replays in a little bit of a cheeky way, you can support the STPL on Patreon. But here we go, looks like we've got the first Zerglings out, and a fake expand coming in from Zealot.
Yeah, you don't know what's behind there. I mean, obviously you can kind of try to poke through, but contrary to popular opinion, it's not as easy as it looks to get Zerglings into the base.
Yeah. I mean, the fake expand really clever because Aru is likely not going to go back and check this. I mean, he can't get the probe back in now, and it's actually a one base layer. This isn't a normal build. This is what Zealot is known for, though. He's so kooky when it comes to his builds. I'm just excited to see exactly where he's going to take this.
No, this is actually very special because you do not see Zerg players do this. Because if this doesn't work, you are screwed. You have nothing. You have no drones. You have no expansions. All you have are 3 Mutalisks to your name. So I think it is actually going to be very potent because, as you may be noticing, Zealots don't shoot up. But if these Zealots run across the map right now, that could be pretty scary.
Not only that, but I mean, Mutalisk deal with Zealots, sure, but they take so long to kill them, especially when there's so few Mutalisks, which is all you're going to get off of one hatchery. I mean, these looks like Zealot could actually get a root here because Aru is heading across in a very strong fashion. I mean, the one benefit Zealot does have is he has been adding a lot of links to his arsenal here, and that's going to be a lot more difficult to make these Zealots work. It's going to require a lot of micro.
So let's see, we've got 8 Zealots, but he's going to go in with 6, and he's going in a line. I don't know if that's the right construction, because 2 of the Zealots are going to get picked off pretty immediately. That is a lot of lings, and I really feel like almost already this is pretty over. He's going to be able to break through even on the ramp if he wanted to, and he's airtight behind that. So wow, really well done there by Zealot to have exactly the right defense.
Yeah, Zealot with a great understanding of just the matchup in general. I think it really does help when you play as strange as Zealot does. The amount of times you must come across games like this is probably quite high. So not only does he have good game sense normally, he's got like a heightened form of game sense where none of his games look normal anyway. So he has to play kind of unstandard. But I mean, Zealots are still very, very potent here. There is a sunken colony back here to defend, but if Aru can get on top of the ramp, maybe he can expand behind this and see what he can do. Oh, looks like he just wants to go in. Let's see.
Did he?
Let's see
he's going for it. The mutas are flying all the way across the map, well, with the exception of this one lonely one that's staying back home. Kind of like that idea, but the Zealots are going to evaporate. There's Sunkens here, there's mutas, there's everything. And, I mean, the drone kills are not insignificant because there are just not very many drones left.
And there's only 3 lava as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing to deal with the mutas, so everything for the Protoss player will die.
But then again, I mean, if he can get enough cannons up, there's only 3 Mutalisks, and only 2 of them are actually at his opponent's base right now. And there's more Zealots going into the main. He could get all of the drones.
You can't build cannons under mutas. Cannons warping in are never going to finish if anything's attacking them, basically. Like, you can have one Zergling attacking a cannon.
Oh, he's got Dragoons. That's going to help.
Yeah, actually, strangely enough.
Oh my god, he gets another 2 drones as well.
Wow, what is happening here? So how many drones exist on the planet right now? Is it 3? I think it's 3.
Oh, the Mutalisk control by Zealot, really, really good. Pulling back that damaged Muta, but this is given time for the cannons. One of the cannons is about to finish up. Looks like Zealot's realized he's going to focus it down, but if it finishes, oh, it's going to die so quickly, but that's extra damage. And there we go, the Mutalisks are actually going down.
This is so crazy. I can't believe it. If only your worker units could repair. But I think the Lings actually might be kind of the nail in the coffin. Because, sure, you can defend with a couple of Dragoons against mutas, but you can't defend with a couple of Dragoons against 6 or 10 of Zerglings.
Yeah, and he can't build any Zealots either. This is it. He can't get any more power to his gateways, at least for the time being. He's going to be relying entirely on cannons. But look back at Zealot's main. He's only got 3 drones.
Okay, so this is actually anybody's game. We're just kind of rewinding the game. All the way back to the beginning. And so, yeah, it sucks to lose the gateways, but you've just got so many workers. Oh, my God. Aru is in a fantastic position, even though it looks like it's a total tragedy.
Yeah,
if he doesn't die here to these
the
lings...
cannons. Like, block
yeah,
the
he's
cannons.
got to pull the probes. Oh, look at that great drill on top of those lings. Actually costs him a couple.
Yeah, but if only he'd done that a little bit sooner. I mean, there isn't... Oh, there's actually a Citadel coming up. If he can get Templar here, that's going to be really bad. There's actually double gateway coming up at the bottom, defended by that cannon and the Dragoon. And Aru's still in a good spot.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is just the income. Zealot has $0. He actually just has no money at all. He's going to be droning up.
Oh, he's mana sunkening himself, so he's going to kill it.
He has to kill his own sunken. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. As if he needed to hurt himself anymore. Wow. This game is crazy. I love it, Kicks, because it's showcasing the player's ability to like do some weird stuff. So look at this gateway being built out on the map at like the 7 o'clock position. I really like that because that's going to allow anything like, you know, DTs, which I guess are coming up here in a second, to be super effective.
You want to know the worst thing, Rapid? There's no Overlord in the main of Zealot. None.
There's no way Zealot scouts this, right? Is Zealot just... Oh my god.
How
is he so good?
Oh, I think he was going to go and hide a base. That's really unfortunate. The trouble is, even though he sees that, he doesn't know what it's going to be. He did see the Citadel, I think, building, so he should know there's going to be some kind of DT on the way. But the trouble is, there's no Overlord morphing, there's no Overlord in the main. And if this DT can finish before the Zerglings can kill this pylon... Okay, maybe they won't, because Zerglings do a lot of damage to pylons. Yeah, he cancels the DT.
Yeah, well, it was a nice idea. I think Aru is still in a pretty decent spot. I mean, this is a one-base Zerg player, so even if he gets full saturation, it's a one-base Zerg player. It's a one-base Protoss, so let's not get it twisted, but look how many probes there are. Oh my goodness, disgusting. And he can actually think about starting to retake his natural expansion pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get his natural, things are going to go from good to better, because the natural, he's going to be able to saturate it immediately. Zealot has still been building a lot of units. Now this DT, he should actually just kill the Lings, because if he kills the Lings, Zealot suddenly doesn't actually have anything to pressure, but it looks like all the Overlord coming in with this Mutalisk going to be able to help kill this DT, and just make it a little bit more annoying for Aru to get on the map.
Well, what is Aru's plan here? I think you have to at least try to bust out with like at least one DT, but you're not. That's not going to happen. So do you try to tech up more in your base, or do you just play this as a one base versus one base? I guess it's that option. He's going to get an Archon. He's going to maybe try to use that to bust out, but his macro is basically non-existent. He's just barely got 3 gates pumping.
Yeah, I mean, he can only really afford 3 gates on one base. If he wants to expand at some point, he's going to have to. Now, the problem is, Zealot is starting to go back into those Mutalisks again, but this Archon is going to be very important. Doesn't get the shot, though. Just imagine if the Mutaclump gets hit by this Archon. This is going to be really dangerous. But if he can get this, the DT on the map, things are going to get really bad for Zealot.
Yeah, you know, it's 5 mutas there, and that's, you know, I guess a good number, but not against Archons. Like, it's actually so crazy how many mutas an Archon can kill. And more importantly, if the mutas are microing against the Archon, they're not microing against the Dark Templar.
Yeah, and the DT is really going to be the damage dealer here. I don't want to look away from these mutas in case the Archon hit it. Oh, one hit from the Archon. Going to be really good here. The muta micro of Zealot, though, is completely on point. Wait, oh, there is an Overlord, but the only thing in defense back at home is actually a single sunken colony. Oh, the DT's getting focused, or at least he's trying to, but there's no Overlord here. Oh, the Archon just missing out, getting another great shot, and the Zealots move it in.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, any drone damage here is catastrophic. You gotta kill the workers, and the mutas, like we said earlier, they just can't get the job done. I mean, the Sunkens are actually going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. The DT goes down, and
he does kill 2 drones, though.
Yeah, he got 2 drones, and that's absolutely gigantic. It feels stupid to say that, but the Zerg player has 0 economy, and so it's just it's really rough. He's just trying to build
Oh,
anything he
another
can.
hit.
I love how we're counting it in hits. It's like the mutas, they can move, they can micro, they're agile, they kill everything, except they die in like 3 hits
Yeah.
to Archons. Now, here we go. The assassination squad coming in. Can they get a drone? No. Great control.
Yeah, great control by Zealot once again. And Nexus, though, is coming up. And oh, wow, okay. I completely missed everything going on at the top of the map. Zealot has another hatchery now. I cannot believe I didn't see it, but Zealot doing a really good job keeping the attention of Aru, keeping everything away. I don't even know how he got that drone up there, but this is Zealot
no, this is
for
actually
you.
the biggest oversight of my professional career is how did this base get here?
Yeah.
Like, if you had told me this base was here and I was, like, in the kitchen, like, doing something, I would never have believed it. I completely... Like, did it just blend in? I don't know, but this is crazy. And this means that the entire game looks different. We're going to be seeing a Hydra bust here come through, and this is a much easier way to win the game than trying to do it with mutas against Archons.
Yeah, but just imagine if there was Maelstrom here. Like, I really wish he had a Dark Archon, but unfortunately he wasn't able to. I mean, if we get some more cannons at the front, the Hydra Bust isn't going to break through, but the cannons are there to defend against the Mutalists, and, I mean, unlike Zealot, Aru isn't going to go and try and hide a base up there, so he may not ever see this base. And, I mean, he sent something up there, but I think that was earlier on in the game. Wait, there's a DT going up. Is that going up to that base? Does he know about it?
I think it does. No. So what's kicking in for Aru right now is he's saying, wait a second. You don't have very much stuff there. Where did you get all those mutas from? And yeah, so the DT is going to find this. And even though he's pushed away, Aru knows now. And that's even almost more scary.
Okay, so there's Archons in the main base. They're going to be able to take down a few of the Zealots. Are going to be doing a lot of damage. Get some hits on those Mutalisks. You need to take them down. Loads of drones going down. Another hit on the Mutalisks. But could he just break the main here? Oh my god, the Archon's doing so much damage to the Mutalisks.
Look at these Archon hits. They just kill everything. It's disgusting. Oh no, the clumped up mutas. Everything's dying here. That last Archon is actually about dead, but look at the micro against the muta.
Oh, and look at the Hydras. The Hydras are going down at the third base. There's no Sunken up here. It's a DT and Zealots. They're going to be able to take out these Hydras. No problem. Aru maybe has found a win in this game, but he still has damage to do.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely not over by any means. These Zealots are pretty squishy against these Hydras as they pop out en masse, but look at the drone count kicks. It's 1 drone at the third base. It's 5, let's count this, maybe 6 drones at the main. We're back down to the Stone Age for Zealot, and Aru has 2 bases fully saturated.
Yeah, and Aru's starting to add on more gateways now. 3 additional gateways are going to be the order of the day. And the more units he builds, the more power he gains with this army. He killed all of the tech units of Zealot. Well, there's 1 lone Mutalist left with 24 health. I hate to tell Zealot this, but that's not really going to achieve too much.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you can look at the supply if you want. It's a boring answer, but yeah, this is... oh, man. These little Hydras crawling around. I wish, Kix, I wish this was the Carbot mod. Because at this point, we could just watch the 3 units that Zealot had cutesily run around the map trying to, like, wobble their way to victory. And it's just never going to happen, but at least it looks cute.
See, the one thing, I know the supplies are looking very bad for Zealot right now, but if Aru doesn't jump on this, he could still lose this game. One thing that a lot of people forget about the way StarCraft works in general is if you give your opponent time and you don't grab the advantage you have into a victory, the comeback mechanics in this game are so strong. And I mean, the more drones Zealot gets, the more Hydras he's going to be able to get. And the longer the game goes on, that count's just going to increase over and over. And now Aru's doing a good job of scouting around with the Zealot, making sure there's no additional hidden bases. But this could be the last stand. Zealot's going to push forward, see if he can get some damage done, but needs to be careful. And he's got Psystorm now, so...
Yes, Storm is the big equalizer here. You've spent your hard-earned Zerg allowance on these precious Hydras, and they walk into a storm and die. Well, okay, there it was. But you also can get these High Templar sniped off, and it looks like that's what he's going for. He's going for the assassination.
Nice
Some
storm
decent
at
storms,
least.
though. Yeah, in the back, another huge storm.
That's massive.
So many Hydras popping.
There's still a lot of Hydras though. I mean, he's going to try and pull back, but the trouble is if he pulls back, Aru's going to go to his main. There just isn't enough here to defend for Zealot anymore. Aru going to turn around with some of these Zealots, delay the Hydras as long as possible while the main group gets into the main where there's no defense whatsoever.
I'm shocked these Zealots don't have +1 yet, but I guess it was such a low econ situation. Damn, Aru does it. Zealot taps out. Holy crap, Kicks. What was that? I just what a crazy game. And you know, I don't even feel bad for hyping Zealot up because Zealot was so good. He came back from 3 drones, Kicks. That's insanity. I don't understand. Also, like, he kept that hidden base. Where did that come from? It's like in Warcraft, you have this item called an ivory tower, and you put it down there and a tower just appears. And I'm just like, wow, you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
In like, what is it, in Fortnite, you have this like Blackout in Black Ops, both of them, you have this little like item you can throw down and it just makes a fort in front of you. I'm like, wow, you know, how'd that get there? Same thing with that base. I'm just like, what is that, like a build a base? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that going up, but you know what, Aru did a fantastic job. I mean, if you think about it, the start of that game was 2 gate against a lot of lings and B a one hatch layer Zerg. So I thought that game was going to hit the 6-minute curse, but you know what? It went on for 17 minutes. Lots of back and forth. That could have gone either way so many different times. Great micro by Aru, really making the best usage out of his units there and getting himself the win at the end of the game. Really well done. That's going to tie the series up 1-1 and keep the hope alive for iRk here as we get into the 3rd game. It's going to be Jerry versus Spire when we get back after this. Hello guys and welcome back to the STPL. Obviously you're tuning in to watch SouL versus iRk. We just saw Aru take down Zealot. And I mean, a lot of people, well, everyone would probably say that's an upset, but he played a really, really well played game. It was crazy. And if you did miss it, go and check it out on the VODs after the broadcast, because it's actually probably one of the best games we've had in the STPL in terms of just pure craziness. So,
oh, by far.
Well,
we were doing the dance of death with the 6-minute curse.
Yeah.
We're so close to just having the game end catastrophically early, and then out of nowhere, both players deal just enough damage to each other that the game stays alive, and they're just hobbling forward. they're like, I don't know, like a dog with like one leg trying to like joust. I'm just like, well, this is just not really gonna work. It's like, you know, you're like Steve McQueen in Die Hard. You've had like a building dropped on you, and you're just still trying to kill the guys. And you're just like, well, this is just a struggle. So it was a really cool game there.
Wait, hold on. I know it's like 5 a.m. Wait, is it 6 a.m. now there for you?
5 a.m.
Okay, you just said Steve McQueen in Die Hard. Just saying.
Wait,
it's John McClane.
What's the guy's name? John McClane, Steve McQueen?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been watching too much Arrow. God, I'm sorry. My desire for terrible superhero oldies movies. I've been watching like Heroes, Arrow, and Smallville, and so I'm just gonna say the names of any character for there instead of the names that I mean. So sorry, Kix, but
fine.
You're gonna turn into a random character sometimes.
It's okay, it's cool. So let's introduce our next two characters in this series. Starting us off for SouL here is going to be Spire. Absolute boss, been doing insanely well. Won his game against SPX yesterday, and overall 75% win rate. Not really too much else to say other than this guy is an absolute boss. And his opponent is a similar boss. He's not been around as much, but one of iRk's final bosses along with the Walt. He's been very, very consistent for iRk in the STPL. He took a long break due to exams. I think he's actually studying. I know he's in the UK, but I'm guessing based on his in-game name at the moment, he's studying at the University College of London, which is actually quite close to where I am, so that's kind of cool. And just a really, really good third player, so it's going to be a ZVZ.
And Jerry's the truth. Like, this guy is deceptively good. I feel like even though he's got a full page of match history, I only remember casting like one of his games, so maybe I just missed a bunch. But it is really cool to see such a strong member on iRk. Absolutely capable of winning this game.
Yep, so let's have a look at our next map. It's gonna be Icarus. Now, Icarus is an interesting map. Back in 2010, when it was first introduced, a lot of people on Team Liquid said it was the most boring map of all time, because all the games on this map went super long. I really like this map. It's one of my favorite, more standard maps. But if you can, don't spoil KSL in chat as well, I guess, because I guess there's a lot of people who haven't had a chance to watch it yet. There's been a lot of stuff to watch, so it's all good. But Icarus was known as a really boring map. It obviously came out around the same time as Fighting Spirit, when everyone else thought Fighting Spirit was the most amazing map in the world, and then you had me sat there being like, boring map, why don't you like Icarus? But either way, Icarus is great. 4 players. There's a little bit of rotational imbalance in CVZ depending on where you spawn from your opponent, unless of course you are in cross position. So let's get into the game and let's see what happens as we go into Spire versus Jerry. Okay, starting us off here in the right-hand position, we do have the orange Zerg. We turn on fighting for SouL. It's Spire.
Oh, and I love that they can speak Korean to each other because they're Jerry's Korean. He's just studying in UK. They're like, "What's the weather like?" He says, "It's very cold." I don't know what that says. Anyway, how long have you been playing StarCraft? Nah, I don't know the rest of it. Anyway, I was doing my best there. But anyway, yeah, they're just like, chewing the fat, as it were, making small talk. And this is when I would get suspicious of a chat rush. But these are honorable macro zergs. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what we actually have for builds, though. Spawning pool first, but still no pool here for Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry looks like he's going to go for a 12 hatch here. There is an Overlord first. He does obviously have the choice of going for a 12 pool. One thing kind of out of the game that's quite important to bring up here is Spire and Jerry actually had a lot of trouble getting their game played initially because they had a lot of lag issues. They sorted it out for the final playthrough. They had to play on turn rate 14, but either way, they were both happy to continue, so the game was in fact played. I'm really glad that happened because the worst thing in the world is having to deal with a walkover, because not only is it annoying for us as casters, it's also annoying for you viewers as well. And yeah, hey Doc, welcome.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it worked out in the end. It can be really hard. Sometimes you can find like a VPN or something that works, but yeah, they're just very far away from each other.
Yeah.
I don't think when the sewers of Great Britain were being constructed millions of years ago, that they were thinking, well, we need to build this country, this island that we're trying to live on, so that in the future we can play an internet video game against somebody 20,000 miles away. It's like that was not their first thought. So it's a struggle, but
yeah,
we persevere. So yeah, you're right. It was 12 hatch.
It was
and,
actually 12
like,
pool into 12 gas,
pool,
then into
12
12 hatch.
pool,
Yeah.
gas hatchery. All right. Glad we got that sorted, but it's going to be very difficult to hold on here. You have to pull some drones, and even then it's going to be a little bit touch and go here. But Spire, I think he's going to have 8 lings. I actually don't think he can kill this.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult, and obviously as soon as you have this extra hatchery, things get a lot better for Jerry. Jerry is going to be doing his best to keep this hatchery alive, though if he loses this hatchery, a big part of his build is going to go down, and he did delay his lair to do this, so things are very on edge. I mean, Spire is doing an amazing job controlling himself around this hatchery. You can see why he did so well in the ACS qualifiers, but Jerry's no slouch either. This is such an insane dance for both of them to have to try and do in the middle of this game.
Yeah, and it actually matters. The outcome of this game almost hinges on this moment, and I think it's going Jerry's way. He just barely is going to have enough to hold on here, and you know, this is not like a guarantee. It's Icarus, so you can scout any different direction, and so if he had maybe scouted last or like some craziness like that, then you know it could be even more in Jerry's favor. As is, it was pretty touch and go, but Jerry survives. He hangs on with his hatchery intact, and that is a big deal because that means he has more larvae. He's going to have more theoretically income if he wants to go double gas.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done that just yet.
This is going to be interesting though, because both players obviously do have their overlords over each other's main, and Jerry sees everything that's going on. Huge thank you to Zero for the host. Welcome from his stream. Hopefully you enjoyed the Corrupted Cup Polish qualifiers. I saw they were really, really cool from what I saw. We've got a second hatchery coming in the main for Spire, but Spire's muteless are going to be a lot faster. Now, what is Jerry's choice going to be here? It looks like he's actually going to go for an evolution chamber, and that is most certainly the best option he has.
Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of interesting because when you have such a big macro advantage, oftentimes your opponent can just say, well, wait a second, we can just go kill him. So this is where the game gets weird. And in truth, these are my favorite ZVZs, where one player goes for mutas and the other player goes for spores. And so we're just going to try to hang on. I think usually the spore player will be able to like barely survive, but it takes a lot of infrastructure and a lot of your early advantage, your economic advantage, you have to sacrifice by using the drones to build the spores.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting though, because the longer the game goes on, if you can get 2 spores at both bases, which Jerry already has, the muteless player can't really do any damage anymore, unless he can start to get lings in there, and that becomes very difficult, because Jerry has double hatchery worth of lava production. You can see him going immediately into that second gas, along with that second spore at the natural, and I mean, it's really going to be up to Spire to try and do some damage here, because he's a long way away from an expansion. I mean, he's going to try and go for the third hatchery now. And there's not really too much Jerry can do about it, but the economy of Jerry is just insane right now.
Yeah, Jerry's killing it. Behind the Spire is going to try to expand himself, and that's not a bad idea, because he can certainly do that without fearing pressure coming in from Jerry. So maybe he just ultra super mega drones behind this. I don't think he will.
Jerry's gonna scout it.
Mutas. And yeah, scouting that is actually huge, because that means that that for a little bit here, you're going to be in a fantastic position. Jerry, once the Spire finishes, he's going to have a lot of mutas. He just has to get there without dying, and he might just do.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Spire with all of those lanes heading in. I mean, Jerry saw them at the ramp, pulls it immediately back, wants to make sure that these links don't get up in the map, but you can see the Mutas are just out of range. Spire doing a lot of damage here. The Link's taking all of Jerry's links, and that's it. GG. Jerry taps out, and Spire takes game number 3. And it looks like
wow.
He stayed in for a bit.
Okay, this is actually really sick. They cheated on the replay progress. He actually stayed in the game and killed every building.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit interesting. But wow, what a cool game! It's just so. Man, I love ZVZ because it is just so crazy. You can get a huge advantage, but you have a huge weakness there as well.
Yeah.
He's got all the macro he needs. He's got the defense against the mutas, but Ling Flood is going to kill you. And Spire, he's just so good. And even with latency, he's still able to do that in a very volatile matchup. Just very good.
I mean, one of the biggest problems that Jerry had was he kind of overdroned. He was going for a massive economy, but he didn't have enough defense, and kind of second guessing what Spire was going to do behind it. I think he expected him to expand a little bit sooner. By the time he actually scouted it, Spire immediately pushed across the map, and there just wasn't even enough time for Jerry to try and react. His Spire wasn't even done, so he was in a very, very bad position. But that's going to take us into game number 4, and this is going to be championship, well, not championship, but kind of grand final point here for SouL, because if Noob can win this game, SouL are going to make it to the grand finals. But I mean, if iRk can win, if Yachi can win, then we're going to go into an ace match, and then who knows what's going to happen. So we'll be back in just a minute. See you guys very soon. Hello guys, welcome back. We're here for game 4 of SouL versus iRk. If iRk cannot win this game, they will lose their possible position in the grand finals, and SouL will advance. So let's see what's going to happen when we introduce our next couple of players, starting off with Noob for SouL. And I mean, Noob is an amazing player. He's actually the highest ranked player in the STPL, ELO-wise. I believe that didn't change yesterday because he did beat Kamizerg in the previous semi-final between these two. If you're not sure of the format of this as well, it's a best of 3 best of 5s, with every best of 5 adding up to 1 point in the best of 3. So SouL are ahead. It's going to be up to iRk's Oyaji here, who's not been as active recently, but he did a really good job back in early 2018, just to sort of really push iRk as far forward as he could.
Yeah, he was definitely a mainstay, a fixture of the team. Lately, yeah, hasn't really been killing it, but he's been good enough to not drag his team down and miss the opportunity here. But still, very strong player. You should definitely not count him out. But he does need to win this game. It's must win, do or die. He's got to take this game, otherwise iRk are out of the STPL.
Yeah, it's definitely something iRk are not going to want. They've put so much heart and soul into this tournament to make it this far. They've improved their team a lot, and obviously SouL have as well, so can't take away from them. But let's get into our fourth and possibly final map of this series. It's going to be one of my favorite two-player maps of all time. It's going to be Hitchhiker. Now, Hitchhiker, we've had a lot of really good games in the STPL on. Radley, who has just been in the chat for a very long time, one of my favorite TVTs in the STPL, has played on this map between him and Regi. But it's kind of interesting in the way it works. You have the top left and bottom right hand corner spawns. There's a lot of neutral buildings blocking ground paths to make it a little bit harder to push around the edge of the map, but there's actually just a path straight through to your opponent's natural through this like really small canyon in the middle of the map.
It's deceptive though, because if you try to send your units through that canyon, oftentimes either they get stuck or there's units on the high ground that just bop them. So yeah. It's oftentimes almost more recommendable, or what's the word I'm looking for here? More advisable? Yeah, maybe something like that. To just go around the long way, even though it takes a long time. This map is like, it looks like it could be something like Blue Storm, but in reality, it's way more complicated, and all of these Xel'Naga temples really confuse the situation.
Yeah, so let's get into game number 4. It's Noob versus Oyaji. It's a PvP to possibly finish off this series. Let's get started. Okay, and speaking of getting started, in the top left-hand corner we do have the Peach Protoss fighting for iRk. It's Oyaji.
That's right, his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, in the red, it's Noob. Who's definitely not a noob, even though it's kind of funny to make puns about his name. He is a super sick badass, definitely one of the best amateur players in the scene right now. And I think for Oyaji, even though he is also a very strong player, I mean, he's going to have to channel his inner Aru to get the job done.
Yeah, Aru with a great win in game 2, really keeping
that was dope.
Alive. Like, that was such a cool game by him. And Oyaji is the kind of player that can pull out those kind of wins when he's needed for his team. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure hinging on this game for him, so he's going to have that mentality of thinking, I need to win this game or we may not make it to the finals, because obviously all the games are played at the same time, so that makes it a little bit easier on the players. But still, there's a lot of psychological pressure, and even knowing you're going against someone as good as Noob is really harrowing when you're trying to fight someone. So it'll be kind of interesting to see the divergence in the build, or maybe once again in STPL fashion we'll see mirror builds, because that's kind of the normal thing for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, we've got a few normal things for us. There's tons of normal things that happen in STPL that are just total tragedies. Although I will say, somebody linked a clip from Koget's stream of his tank mischance under a doodad tree, and we don't have that happen in STPL yet. So we've still got some new things to have happen here. But yeah, we've got short games, we've got crazy games, we've just got all kinds of games here in STPL. you're definitely getting your money's worth if you're watching right now. And if you're not watching right now, well, shame on you. And also, how are you listening to me? I don't know.
Well, there's a mana pylon going up in Noob's base. It's actually going to block 2 of his... Oh, wow. He actually... he blocked his own probe in with the probes.
He mana pyloned his own probe. Nice. Actually, he can't even attack with the probe either because it's glitched right now. Actually, I guess he could, right?
Oh, he gets it out again. He steals the minerals.
Oh, he's mining
and runs
trick.
away.
Yeah, so he just returned cargo to escape. But he could absolutely go back and try it again.
I mean, mana pylon, obviously not great. It's actually going to supply block him for the time being. He had to give up a lot to make that work. But there is a cyber core coming in. Probe doing a decent bit of damage, obviously staying alive, but the Zealot is already... Wait, the Zealot's got a kill, but the probe's still alive. Did he send a second probe? Or did he kill one of his probes by accident?
Wait, what? How? Oh my goodness. Okay, somebody saw what happened there. I did not. But hey, there's a probe and a Zealot in Noob's base. That could be a little bit rough to deal with. One and... Oh, wow. Almost got that second hit off on the probe. Actually, he's going to get it. Wow, that's 2 probe kills already.
Yeah, 2 probe kills already. He does get the kill with the Zealot, which is decent. But he does need to keep the Zealot alive. Obviously, the longer the game goes on, the harder this is going to be. Now, Noob actually tried to scout around the edge of the map, just making sure that there's no proxy gateways there, because that's a really powerful strategy on this map. A second probe does go down. Equal footing here for Oya and Noob. But Noob did get his Cybernex core up a little bit quicker, so he already has his Dragoons on the way, but it's 2 gate versus 1.
Yes, and as you might imagine, that means that there's going to be more versus less, and especially in PvP, almost more so than any other matchup. More beats less just a lot. So, are we just going to witness the end of this game, Kicks? Is it just over? I mean, high ground exists, but, I mean, you can't stop Zealots, right?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, he does know the 2 Zealots are there. He's going to push forward, see if he can get a little bit of extra damage down on this Dragoon. As long as he can micro back enough, he might be able to do this. Obviously, we've seen a game like this previously where it was DeWalt versus Yeti, and Yeti was... Basically, Yeti lost the game to mischance, because DeWalt had less... No, DeWalt had more, but he was pushing up at... Okay, I can't remember exactly how it went, but basically Yeti missed a load of shots he shouldn't have missed and lost the game because of it. So there is 4 Dragoons on this high ground already. It's going to be difficult to pull this Dragoon back, but getting one of the Zealots down, and obviously if Noob throws away all his units here, he's actually going to find himself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, the counter push is actually going to be kind of scary here. What? This is 4 versus 2 Dragoons. He's got 1 more back at home, and of course more to pop out here. But wow, I do not understand PvP. It is just a coin flip sometimes.
Yeah, now it is going to be 4 versus 3, but then you do have that mischance coming in. These Dragoons by Oya haven't actually taken that much damage, but it's 4 versus 4 now. And obviously it's a very long reinforcement path, so Oya's going to have to be careful as well. The tech's up there for Noob now. He's going to go into Reaver. He's already got the shuttle on the way. And the longer this goes on, I mean, it's 3 gateways against Shuttle Reaver, and that's not really something you want to be fighting with. And how on earth can he see this pylon?
Yeah, I don't understand so many things about this game, but apparently, I guess you can see it when the Dragoon's fired, because it's, like, close to them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But here we go. Looks like Oya's going to try and break up on the ramp. He missed target fires, but he does get 2 of the Dragoons, but it's 2 for 3.
Oh, the shuttle micro coming in from Noob. Oh, he blocked so many shots with that shuttle lift and lower. Oh, beautiful play there. He holds on the high ground, and now things go back the other way, Kicks.
Yep, it's like a tug of war on this map especially, and it's even greater because of the way this canyon works. Now, Noob can push forward, but he's going to be pushing into a concave, and that's not something you want to do. But Oya's going to have to be careful. If he can maybe go back and defend against the Reaver that he should know is coming, maybe he can still make something happen. We saw it with Aru. He got pushed back, but he still managed to do enough damage. But, I mean, this is going to be very, very difficult. He's going to try and go for this pylon again. I think it must be something with the way this high ground works. Maybe it's not full high ground. Oh no, he's trapping his units though.
It definitely is high ground, but oh, let's watch this Reaver. How good are the Scarabs? Way good. Way good kicks.
Oh, can he
Way
get
good beat.
Can he get the shot? The shot's actually really low, but it's the Scarabs he needs to worry about. Is now a load of units here for Noob. Oya's gonna pull back, but this could be the nail in the coffin. There is a few pylons out here to help kind of defend, but Oya's on the retreat and he's got a Reaver to deal with now.
Yeah, not only that, but he was saving up for a Nexus, and he might still try to put it down, but he can't. There's no way he can put a Nexus down, because he just has less stuff.
Oh, he's gonna put it down
Okay,
anyway.
well...
And if you've got the money, you may as well use it.
Yeah, but... Dude, you're doing this against a Reaver, and this is going to be a slow push Reaver. And because of the short rush distance by ground, even though it's dangerous and hard to get across the map, it's short, and Reavers can crawl.
And there's two Reavers. I mean, one of them is going to take an eternity to get over there, but you can already see the second Reaver up with the units. Now, it's interesting how he chose to do that. I think the shuttle went down without me realizing, but yeah, it looks like the Reaver, can he target down? No, he's not actually going to be able to. The Reaver Scarab's going off on the Dragoons at the back, and this is definitely looking like Noob can push through here and win this game.
Yeah, there's just not going to be enough. I don't know why he knew that the push was coming and then still threw down the Nexus. Like, I mean, maybe it's just how you plan to win the game. You've got to try something risky. But wow,
dive on the Reavers, but this is just
yeah. But look at how good the shuttle control is. Actually, whoa, did he get one?
Yeah, he got one
no,
of the Reavers.
yeah, he got one. But there's still one more, and there's a ton of Dragoons here. So good luck, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and get a rowboat at the top of his ramp, but it's actually blocking his Dragoons from being able to get up. And this Nexus is just 400 dead minerals. He should really cancel it, but at this point, I don't think there's much point. I mean, he's fighting his best at the top of the ramp.
He got the Reaver.
Oh, wow.
So that's mission accomplished there, but I just don't think that
the boys have been
enough.
pulled. He's going to try and block the Dragoons on the ramp, but Noob immediately pulling back. One of the Dragoons getting stuck, sniped by the probes, but the other one actually saved by the shuttle. And things are going from bad to worse here for Oya. Losing these probes is not something he can afford. And GG! Noob takes down Oya and gives SouL the first entry into the grand finals with a 2-0 victory over iRk.
Congratulations. I think everybody knew that SouL was probably the favorite to make it in to the finals, and they do it dominantly. What an amazing team, what an amazing game. This entire series really delivered. But I still want to say that Aru victory was choice. So definitely go back and watch that if you didn't see that. Great games in the series, but in the end, SouL prevails, and they are going to be our first STPL Grand finalists.
They are, and if we just have a look at the results of that series, just to go over it quickly, obviously this is something we always do. So Scan took down DeWalt. That was actually a really close game, but Scan's control on Judgment Day, the way he controlled that map was so good. Aru took down Zella in probably one of the most crazy games I've ever casted. Spire took down Jerry in a really close DVZ as well. I mean, that could have gone either way. And then Noob taking down Oyaji on Hitchhiker. Very back and forth, but unfortunately the micro of Oya not up to par to take on someone as strong as Noob. He did his best, it didn't work out, and that gives SouL the path in the finals. So the good thing is we're still not done for today. There's actually going to be NetWars versus White. It's their second series. Yesterday, White won 4-0, but it was up against the NetWars, who are actually a little bit less active than they were before. And they're back now. They had a week in between these two series, so let's hope NetWars can do a bit of a better job. We'll be back in just about 5 minutes to start with our next series, and we'll see you guys there. Don't go anywhere.
Movement just to make sure that tanks can keep up. And here we go. This is a big move. We got shuttles coming in. He actually had the wrong shuttle moving in. We're going to start to drop some zealots in there.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't actually think he did drop any of them, so that is not the way this is supposed to look. The scan push, even against the storms, are going to be insane.
Yeah, good D-Matrix, but too much from Scan. Not enough there for White.
He's going to go for it, though. I really think there's an opportunity here if he can focus fire those tanks. going for the bunker instead. He will kill it off and all the Marines inside, but that's quite a few tanks with another round of production coming in.
So much blue goo coming in, so many tanks left alive, and GG!
Keep in mind these guys are playing on opposite sides of the planet. To do this with latency is insane.
Oh no!
He's actually just gonna mind drag. Whoa!
Oh,
so
that's
sick.
insane. YSC breaking through, using Reyna's mines against him, getting a little bit too complacent there with the mine placement. Great mine drag. And YSC has I don't actually think he has a single unit here to defend. The command center is going to go down. The barracks has gone down. And Reyna's going to pull some SCVs with this final tank. Can he make something happen? The Dragoons are actually going to get on top of the tank if this happens. If he loses this tank, he's going to lose the game. And GG!
Damn. No tanks anymore.
Yeah, now here we go. Looks like the Dragoons are going to move in. There's no tanks in range to defend this command center, unfortunately. The barracks is going to go down. That's no more factories for him. The scanner is going to go down as well. It looks like he is going to try and edge his way down with his tanks. No vultures are remaining to sit in front of this. The turret is actually being targeted down. This should kind of give him the idea that there could be a bulldog.
Dropping on top of the tanks, the Zealots, Dragoons moving forward to fire. Many tanks coming down. The Zealots are on the high ground. What? How'd they get all the way up there?
Yeah.
That's gonna do it. GG. YSC busts through Rainer's tank line and takes the game.
Defend with the drone, but does get past.
Ooh.
Oh, the SCV's pulled at the right time, but
yeah.
things are still looking a little bit hairy here for good old Eonzerg. Oh my god, the lanes actually push the SCVs back. They're going to be able to jump down on the Marines. There is a Vulture out though, but he's going to get all the Marines.
Did he kill every Marine with 6 slings?
He did.
There were 3 SCVs in front of him.
Connect with the Wraith, but here we go, the Vulture's going to try and move in. They get the SCVs on the ramp, and could this be a very quick game with Sin scans Vultures earlier? Is Eonzerg going to scan a little bit better? Not scan. Can't remember the word, but either way, looks like he's doing a pretty good job so far. The Muir's coming in, and he's actually got no turrets yet. Eonzerg is hitting before turrets are done.
How are you? Oh my god! It's so uncharacteristic for a player of Biel's caliber to hit before turrets are done. Now he's just gonna whack all these turrets down. And what are you gonna do, Mr. Wraith? What are you gonna do? You have cloak? Okay, cool. You got 1 cloaked Wraith here, and oh my god, the repair on the turret. It's so insane. Oh my god!
It is.
Oh my god!
And the dropship's going into the into the main base as well. Eonzerg is in a pretty terrible position at the moment. The Vultures gonna fare a little bit better this time. There's only a single sunken to help defend against this. Oh my god, he's actually gonna try and go behind this and try and get us around. But so many drones have gone down already, and things are looking a little bit dire here on Holy World.
They certainly are.
Push up, there's actually only Vultures and a bunker, and there's not really that much there's not much surface area to repair this, so could this be enough Hydras? It doesn't look like it is. It looks like repair, once again, showing how powerful it is. Eonzerg unable to break through with his first attempt, and GG. Yul handles it, and he moves in to game number 2. Up here, good moves by Eonzerg so far. Oh my god, he gets it!
Yeah, that is so huge. Now the second Vulture is going to be out by the time he gets in here, but it's going to be a guaranteed cancel on the natural. Oh no, he got actually delayed long enough chasing that Vulture for the natural to complete. That's so huge. That means he has a command center to fall back on after whatever happens here happens. Now,
but the Vulture's getting stuck in the corner.
Crazy. Oh my god! Now there's 2 Vultures, so obviously there's a timer here on all these lings. They're not chasing in as high numbers, and the micro is pretty good here by Biel, and he does get them behind the mineral lines, so I think things are going to start to stabilize here. But this is scary. This is exactly what Effort did to such massive success against Flash. He got in there, killed the first few Vultures, snowballed the game after that. But this is going to look a little bit different. Yeah,
this machine, is this going to be the move that wins in the game? Last time we saw it didn't work. He actually gets a huge kill on the bunker. The Marines all go down before they can get into the bunker. That's only 1 Marine.
Yeah. There's an Overlord here. He can't use the cloaked raise to hold on. There is repair on the next bunker, but it goes down too, and there's only 1 Marine in it. Like you said, Kicks. Now there's a tank on the high ground here, and SCVs to block. And SCVs are pretty good at doing that, but there's just only 1 tank's DPS, and there's like a controlled group of Hydras pushing up.
There is
high ground.
Oh, the tank's gonna go down!
Oh my god! Is he gonna do it, Kicks?
Eonzerg is definitely going to do it. Bjol has lost too much. GG! And Eon Zerg takes game number 2. Bill has absolutely no idea about that bot middle base. And, I mean, he's still going to be trapped in the dark. Eon Zerg gets another medic, and here we go, the lurkers coming up. The mutants are sacking themselves, but all of the Marines die.
Kicks. We're going to run the lurkers and the lings forward. Lurkers going to burrow. Mutas are up there. A couple of the lurkers die, but so many of them stay alive. They're going to be able to bust through even this bunker here, and all the SCVs are probably going to go down here too. So many spines, lurkers killing everything. I think this is it.
Yeah, this has got to be GG. Bjorn is not going to be able to come back from this. He's taken so much damage. He's lost his natural expansion. And Eon Zerg has his number completely. Bjorn finally gets that scan off and sees the third base. And the light bulb in his head just flips and he's like, damn. I got killed by a hidden base I didn't scout pretty much.
Broken here. I think he's going to realize that perhaps now is just not the right time.
Yeah, and this is going to be an instance of a foreigner taking out a Korean. Eon Zerg advances into the round of 4 and use the SCVs to run past the bunker. But the SCV block by Famath is very, very good. And it looks like the Marines of Koget aren't going to get past. And GG!
That's it! GG, wow!
Bonneth could only build a probe, but I hate to tell him. I mean, there's still a Reaver alive somehow. Ho does still have all of his drones, and GG! And the Natural did manage to clean that up before too many probes go down. And Yeti has done it. They've done what iRk couldn't. They've put a win on the board. It's GG! But I think we've seen it again. Exactly at 6 minutes, these Hydras broke up the ramp, and GG! Because he didn't have any gas, doesn't have any tanks.
Yeah, Radley just dies here.
Yeah.
Wow.
GG.
That's a GG at this point. It is time to get out of the game. Wow, I did not expect this to be, well, I mean, you were asking the questions like, well, you know, can any of NetWars players survive long enough to get Bonneth's chance to kind of come out, because he is kind of their star player, or at least one of them.
Yep.
Well, I think this is a pretty good way to start off. GG, Crush taps out.
Kingpin's valiantly holding on, but it's one meter against about 11. And 2 final Scourge come out. They don't do anything. GG! King Bonneth just has an overwhelming number of units, and it's just only going to continue to get worse.
Oh my god, he has 7 probes.
But yeah, this is just way too much damage. Bonneth with a great victory here. GG!
You get a third up. No, he's just going for it, and he kills the third base, all the hatcheries. Any unit that pops here is basically just going to die instantly. There's no detection. The Overlords going down are so crazy that Ho has 60 supply because he had to remax a bunch of Overlords, and now, oh my god, Bonneth!
Lose the chamber before +1 attacks on. GG! Bonneth takes down Ho. Hello guys, and welcome back to the STPL semi-finals. We're here now for White versus NetWars. WHITECLAN are currently up 1-0. I don't know why I did a motion for 2. 1-0 against NetWars. They won yesterday 4-0. Are they going to be able to repeat that and go immediately into the finals? And are we going to get a best of 7 between White and SouL? Or are the weeks prepared NetWars going to have a better chance here against WHITECLAN? And see if they can take it to the ace match.
This should actually be pretty even, especially when we consider our lineups that we'll be going over in just a second. But before we do that, I've noticed, Kicks, that we have 129 people watching the stream, but the tweet advertising this wonderful tournament doesn't have 129 retweets. I don't. I may be doing the math wrong there, but the numbers don't add up. So in an effort to make the numbers add up, you can retweet STPL on Twitter and share the love and get the word out about STPL so that more people watch it, and that way Kix will be able to afford food for himself and his cat. And also maybe more STPLs in the future, but just get the word out. STPL is sick. These players are amazing, and you're watching it for free like dirty freeloaders, but we still love you. So just go make a Twitter account and retweet that as we get into our game, because it's NetWars versus WHITECLAN. And honestly, maybe round 3, I would have said NetWars were the new hotness. Like these guys, they were just killing it. And maybe if you look back at round 1 and 2, WHITECLAN were just absolutely bonkers. But now things are a little bit different.
Yeah, now one thing to point out is NetWars and WhiTeClan met each other in the round 3 finals. The only reason we got robbed of the chance of seeing an ace match was the fact that one of the NetWars players couldn't make his game. I can't remember who it was, but it was a massive, massive shame. But then NetWars continued their dominance in round 4, and they made it into the finals again against SouL, where they also did well. NetWars, obviously the biggest, I would say they're probably one of the biggest communities in gaming, because everyone who plays games in Poland, I think, is in NetWars in some capacity. They're involved in so many different games. They're huge in StarCraft 2, huge in Brood War. They're just a great community. They're apparently full of really, really nice people. From anyone who travels to like events in Poland, they all say the same thing. And they're just one of the best teams in the STPL, without a doubt. They lost yesterday. They went down 4-0, unfortunately. But this is their chance. This is their chance to bring it back. They were tied up with WhiTeClan before, and I think they can do it again. WhiTeClan, obviously the champions of round 1 and round 2. They fell off a bit in round 3. They did manage to qualify, but only ended up in 3rd place. But then round 4, they didn't even qualify for the playoffs. And just to go back and answer a question from John 19875 in chat, the STPL has actually been going the same season since March last year. It's probably the longest tournament in Brood War. And the next season is going to be a bit shorter, so don't worry. And if you have missed anything that's been happening, there is an STPL TV YouTube channel, link below the stream, and you can check all the previous games. There's been over a year's worth, so there's enough content to last you until STPL Season 2 starts. But overall, this should be an insane series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both of these guys are monsters. I would give maybe a slight edge to WhiTeClan, but NetWars have such a deep roster with some of the highest elo, highest win rate players in STPL, so let's take a look at it.
Yep, so NetWars is going to be starting by sending WHITEC up against Yes Man on Judgment Day at PVT. Then they're going to send out Vingzil, I'm hoping I'm saying his name correctly, in a PvZ against Ho. Then we've got Bonith, the man, the mountain himself. Also the Vicar, according to Foxhand. That's going to be on Icarus in a PvZ versus Force. And then we're going to have a PvT with Yeti, another absolute monster for NetWars, coming out against FamSE. I don't think he played FamSE yesterday. I can't quite remember. But Yeti is a really, really strong Protoss player. He beat Bjol in the finals they played against SouL in a 45-minute macro game. Yeti's a boss, and it's a PvT.
No, Yeti's the truth. He actually just won a straight-up game. A lot of times, like, we're talking about, like, DeWalt cheesing out pro players, and I'm just like, okay, well, you know, whatever. But Yeti, like, can do it both ways. He's amazing. So, I think WHITEC might have his hands full with Yes Man, Vingzil with Ho. But Bonith Force and Yeti FamSE are both games that NetWars can absolutely win. So this sets us up for a potential ace match, and I can't wait. I mean, I just want to watch this happen over and over again. I'm gonna, you know, like, do the if you ever watched the show The OA on Netflix, I'm gonna basically like hop between shards of reality just so I can watch this matchup happen over and over again.
Well, this is interesting. WHITEC being the first player coming out for NetWars, he's pretty old school. He's been around for a very long time, but he's not in the entire year. Well, it's been a year and 3 months. In the entire 15 months of the STPL, WHITEC hasn't appeared once for NetWars so far. So making his debut in quite possibly their most important match of the entire tournament to see if he can get that win. I mean, the only person from NetWars that has been around longer and isn't here is probably going to be someone like Draco. So, I mean, maybe they'll bring out Draco at some point, who knows, but his opponent going to be a very, very strong Terran in Yes Man. 100% win rate. He played against Bonith yesterday in a TVP and he took him down in a really, really, really aggressive TVP as well. He was dropping all over the place on Pathfinder. Bonith didn't even have a chance to breathe before he was kind of just smothered out here by Yes Man. So I don't know if Yes Man can do that again against someone like GTech.
I just don't know anything about GTech.
Yeah.
It's news to me. I know Yes Man is a badass. So, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't, Kicks. And there's only one way that we're going to get to know a little bit more about GTech.
Yeah, so if we have a look at our first map, we saw it before. It's going to be Judgment Day, one of my favorite maps, as I said before. We had a TVP on this just a moment ago, where basically Scan completely dominated the wall. So it is a good map for Terran. It's not too bad for Protoss either, at least statistically. One of the major map features is it's all flat. There are some sort of high ground pods outside of the naturals. But other than that, there's no high ground. The only terrain you have to abuse is the little walls that appear everywhere around the map. Now, hopefully, for our first game here in this semi-final series, we're going to have a good one. And let's find out as we jump into game number 1. It's GTech versus Yes Man on Judgment Day. And starting us off in the top right-hand position, we do have the purple Protoss fighting for NetWars. It's GTech.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner in the orange playing Terran for WHITECLAN. This is Yes, or Yes Man. Did you ever play the game Homeworld, Kicks?
I didn't. But please explain.
Okay, well, first of all, you got to do that. It's an RTS. It's a little bit more of like a big epic scale, but it's still an RTS. It's epic, and it's actually a little bit more well known for the single player than the multiplayer. Even though the multiplayer is actually pretty sick, the single player missions they're really like heartstring wrenching. It's an epic space opera basically, where you have RTS ships and a big mothership, right?
Right.
And the theme song, very iconic. To that game is by a band named Yes, or Yes Man, and so
so that's where
I'm reminded. That's my deep video game reference. And also, how haven't you played Homeworld? Kicks, what have you been doing with your life? I recently found out, chat. I'm gonna out Kicks here. He's never had a s'more.
Okay.
Like, he can't even have s'more because he's never had a s'more to start with.
We don't have those in the UK. I mean, we have like food regulations. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it means like anything super duper unhealthy doesn't get on our shelves.
Yeah.
Like, it could go.
Yeah, they actually.
Soon, but...
I remember when I was there last time visiting. They have signs up in like all the McDonald's and stuff that say, look, we've reduced the sugar in our soft drinks and stuff like that. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, it amazed me when I went to America last year, and just the fact that every menu item has the amount of calories that are in it. And I look at it and I think, well, I see a big number, but I don't really know what it means, so I'm just gonna eat it all anyway. Like, that's just how it works, right? Best way to live.
Hashtag things America does. It's at least we're consistent, as I can say that much. All right, scouting commencing. Yes Man is about to be probed by GTech. He's gonna. I mean, I guess you can kind of infer by the timing where your opponent is, but it doesn't look like he's gonna make the right choice, at least initially. And so that's some nice information for GTech, but the Marine is going to push the probe away.
Oh, and according to eRo, we do have s'mores here, but I've never heard of them. Like, I've heard of them in context of America, but that's kind of interesting. Looks like we're going to see Yes Man go for a similar wall to what Scan did yesterday on this map against Bonneth. Wait, he did Bonneth yesterday? Either way, no they didn't. They played against iRk, you played against SPX. But SPX went with this wall. You know what? I cannot remember what happened yesterday. That is really worrying. But either way, today we've had some amazing games. Robo coming up here for GTech. He's going to go immediately into Reaver play off of one base, which, to be honest, I don't think is that much of a bad idea. Drops are very, very good on this map.
Yeah, they for sure are. And actually, we didn't touch a ton on this map.
Stop again.
But So one of the reasons drops are very good is because there's a ton of unpassable terrain, but also you can't really maneuver like just straight through the middle of the map because there's a lot of different avenues for you to be like circumvented. Especially the biggest culprits are speed vultures. So if you try to push through just straight up the middle, you're gonna get either run through a minefield or you're gonna get pushed from a weird angle.
Yeah, now one of the major map features that I didn't mention before is the way that your natural and your main kind of works like Guillotine and Neo Guillotine from way back when. You actually have this single choke outside of your bases. It defends this sort of mineral only that we can see in Cheatek's base at the moment, but obviously without that gas it can be a bit problematic. Now, unlike the last game we saw on this, where we saw Scan against... who did Scan just play against? It was DeWalt. Like, DeWalt and Scan both played incredibly strong macro styles. This is completely different. Both players are going for incredibly early drops. We've got a Reaver on the way already for Cheatek. We've got Yesman with his control tower, with his starport. If Yesman goes for a drop here, he may actually find himself in a lot of trouble against a Reaver just flying straight to his base, because he's not going to want to use his mines in his main to defend against a Reaver that he doesn't know is coming. He's got no information.
Yeah, he has no idea. I mean, that's kind of until you either like get Scan or have some way to like run a vulture through, I guess you are just a little bit in the dark. And for Cheatek to be doing this, I associate this playstyle with Bonneth. He's the one-base Reaver shuttle god, but we're going for it. I love this. This is just amazing. Oh one base Reaver play is so sexy, and
perfect scout again. Like, how lucky are people? Oh, he sees it, but does he notice it?
No, he missed it. He missed it.
It was in his minimap, so...
okay, well... Yeah, but you can see that he is pulling back. Okay, so he is going to notice that. And it's going to fly over a mine, I think, here in just a second. So.
But there's a drop coming in for Cheatek as well, and Yesman, so both of them going to be trying to drop each other at the same time. Wraith on the way though, and that's going to be a massive help against this slow shuttle. Here we go, the Reaver drops down, Scarab going down on the Marines. There's actually not that much to defend back here, but Cheatek does not have vision over these vultures in his base. There's going to be mines placed at his choke. This is going to be very difficult to hold on to. And the vultures could do a lot of damage to the mineral line. The Reaver is actually going to be pulled back. A mine could have been devastating there, but does manage to stop it before it becomes too much of a problem. And it looks like this is getting cleaned up.
The Reaver could be winning the game right now. Like, there's nothing that can fight a Reaver.
There is a Wraith though. I think he wanted to. He saw the starport blinking, and he knows the second the Wraith comes out that the shuttle's gonna die, and that's a dead Reaver. So,
I feel like Wraiths don't kill ground units. Like, the Reaver could literally just run through that base, and maybe there's mines, but like you could just go drop it in the mineral line.
Oh, okay, the Wraith flew in for a scout on the second base. He didn't know that was up, but now he does. He knows that both of them are actually going to be taking their naturals at basically the same time here, which is going to work out better, I think, for Yesman, because he did manage to get that probe damage done early on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what vulture drops are designed to do. So mission accomplished as far as that's concerned. The Wraith is going to fly backwards, and this is that sort of weird phase of the 1-1-1 build where you're like, hey, I've got all my tech, but I have no units. So the Terran player is going to try to get up a bunch of units.
Another drop going into the natural. This could do a lot of damage. There's nothing back to defend. Cheatek actually sending a lot of units forward to try and go for a bust. There isn't any sieged tanks here yet, so maybe these Dragoons can push forward with this Observer. And he does have this Reaver and a shuttle, but how many probes is he going to have to lose in the meantime?
Lots and lots, Kicks. How is he going to break through here? He does have the Bulldog with the Reaver from before, but the Wraith is here now. Let's see how good the Mind Drag is. Very good Mind Drags. Wow, that is fantastic.
And that Reaver Scarab is huge. Cheatek doing a lot of damage, pushing forward here. The shuttle is about, well, the Observer goes down, but the turret goes down as well. The shuttle survives, I believe. Unless it went down.
Oh, no, Scarab. Wow, I thought that Scarab was going to kill all the SCVs. That was the perfect bust. Oh my god. Cheatek nailed it. Now, on the other side, he lost a ton of probes. So, like, a lot. But not all of them. And if he can, maybe stop some mining here, take some SCVs out in the natural, that's actually fantastic.
Yeah, and he's going to block this missile turret. This is where that sort of natural configuration of this map is going to cause problems, because you can see WHITECLAN is unable to defend this base properly. He's having to push forward very, very sheepishly. He's going to lose the turret. He's going to lose a good number of SCVs here as well if the Dragoons target properly. But there we go, Dragoons moving in from the front. Good start step from WHITECLAN. Is playing with death though when you look at the mine behind his Dragoons, but the command center has been forced to lift, and that's not something Yes Man's going to be looking forward to.
No. Yes Man will be looking forward to none of that. Man, what a fantastic bust. To be honest though, WHITECLAN needed to deal a little bit of damage there because he did take a lot of damage.
The mine!
From those, ultra drops. Whoa!
That was close.
Man, so many of these mines are close kicks.
Oh my god.
I don't.
There we go.
Ah! The Dragoon just pops in the background. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm going to stop the CC from landing a little bit more. Nope, I'm going to die to a mine. But at least that clears up that mine a little bit less for Yes Man to worry about. The worst thing that could possibly happen is a Zealot mine dragging that into your natural. So looks like he should be fine, but this is another part of this map design coming into play, as you said. At the beginning of the game, the Speed Vultures completely circumventing those Dragoons now, and heading up, seeing if they can get some scouting done, laying some additional mines, and also checking that there's no third Gassia for his Protoss opponent.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that a
Protoss
Protoss is still on
drop as well.
Yeah, I think the drop makes sense, but it should get 1 million damage done. Oh, he's gonna pick up the Zealots and run away. So maybe it is gonna actually get damage done, even though there's a Dragoon. You can drop on that high ground platform, right?
Yep, yeah, you definitely can. It's really good to put tanks there. It's also buildable as well, if I remember correctly. So you can actually put a turret up there. I need to verify that because it's been a while since I played the map myself. But it's definitely one of the things that if there's any lower level Protoss players who are forced to play on this map with me, I pretty much drop every game. So yeah, it looks like yes, WHITECLAN getting a good amount of damage on that dropship, making it a little bit harder to be as open with it. Oh, I nearly missed a big mine, but luckily enough, WHITECLAN did stop that. That was very, very close, but you can see Yes is playing this very, very carefully. So we saw this a bit before when Scan took on DeWalt. He just sat back, he gathered his 3 bases, and he went for 2-1. Oh, the dropship! The dropship goes down with all of the vultures in, and that's a big win for WHITECLAN.
Well, yeah, more importantly, it's a big loss for Yes. What do you even do now? How are you supposed to get across the map as Yes? He's going to have to wait for that big 2-1 push. He's not going to be able to make it out there until then.
Oh my god, the mine! Oh, he gets the mine, but it only hits one of the Dragoons for the time being. But this could be dangerous. If he tries to target this mine down, he may accidentally kill his shuttle. This is a little bit too close for comfort for me. Hopefully just A moves, because that's not good.
Yeah, you can just A move through all of that. He actually almost missed it with the Observer running out, but this is just standard Minesweeper, and he's pretty good at it. So wow, you're denying the minefield out on the map. You're really airtight. There's a couple of vultures that are gonna run in here, but there's Dragoons and cannons, so gets in, gets out with a couple of probe kills. Not a big deal. I mean, and this push is here. So let's see if he's gonna be able to do anything with it. He doesn't have an Arbiter or anything. The best he can do is like maybe siege it with the Reaver or Bulldog through, but this is pretty well defended, Kicks.
Yeah, it's not really a place you want to attack. You just want to go and take your 4th base as Protoss now, get a 5th base eventually as well. You don't want to play too aggressive. The important thing is, yes, he's got a lot of tanks, but he's not got that many vultures. He's falling prey to something that I fall prey to, but obviously Yes is so much better than I am, where you spend so long sending so many vultures into their doom, you don't have the big minefields that you need in the middle of the map, and something you can't really push for a while, because even though you've got tanks, a big Zealot flood will just kill them all. So Yes is still just going to sit back, defend, wait for that 2-1 to come in. We see the 2nd armor he has now finished up, so he should be getting +1 armor on that very, very shortly. We've got +2 attack coming in the bottom left of the map too. So I mean, Yes is still in a good place. WHITECLAN is doing a decent job as well. We still don't have any additional tech coming in. Templar Archives finally coming in though, so that's a pretty big thing.
I love what Yes is doing. He's continuing to try to find ways to get vultures out on the map, because the Protoss likes to sweep once and then not go back again. But if you can lay mines behind or between the Protoss army, it makes it really hard to reinforce that easily.
Yeah, I mean, the one funny thing here is the way we're watching this. Yes is just slowly like walling him more and more inside of his own base. He really doesn't want to go anywhere. But the important thing is he doesn't want WHITEC coming in. Now, WHITEC does have a probe in the top left. He's going to be able to take the other main. Very important to get that second gateway farm on this map due to the way the map is laid out. Makes it very hard to go for flanks without that secondary force coming in from the other side. So WHITEC still doing his best to try and block Yes from pushing forward. But Yes is doing a really, really good job at the moment, just staying alive.
You know, this is a very important moment. Like you said, you got to get the gateway farms up. You got to really hit your macro. Lots and lots of fundamentals here for WHITEC to focus on. One of the biggest things is upgrades. We're +1 ground weapons, but no armor. Here we go, the Bulldog. Look at the shuttles coming in from the back. Lots of zealots being dropped out. Many zealots.
He needs to pull back, though.
Yeah, they all evaporate.
That's
way too many vultures.
Yeah, not only that, but a very well spread tank count as well by Yes Man. I mean, WHITEC needs to be careful. He doesn't want to lose all his units. He got a few tank kills, but not enough. And you'll see slowly but surely. Yes, if he gets any more Dragoon kills here, he's just going to run siege and push. But looks like he's still playing a little bit careful. This is going to give WHITEC at least time to get more units up. And he needs to get this fourth base up quicker. I mean, there's a couple of cannons here. He needs those realistically against all the drops that Yes Man's been doing. But I mean, that's money that isn't going into gateways.
Yeah, more importantly, I mean, if you just look at the base, the income discrepancy, Yes is killing it. He's got 3 bases up, and Terran can just stay on that forever. He's got a 4th base up, but not mining. That'll be mining pretty shortly. And more importantly, he's just consistently getting upgrades over and over again. He's gonna have that big Q1. And oh no, not more economic damage. Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is WHITEC does have his 4th base up now, but he does need more gateways, he needs more units, and more importantly, he needs additional tech. The Arbiter Tribunal is finally done, but it's very, very late in this game. And Yes, it's actually slowly crawled out. He's got a 4th base now. And more importantly, he's got that 3rd gas. And I mean, just look at the tank count Yes has now. 2-1 is about to finish. He's even going to go for a drop in the top left at the same time as pushing. And this is just one of the really powerful things about Yes. He could even take this high ground pod here with a tank and do a lot of damage. But it looks like, oh wait, is this dropship going to be found and killed? That could be pretty big. Oh, the mine! Oh, that was close.
Wow, it barely escapes. I mean, at least he knows it's over. He knows it's over there, but hopefully it's not going to be. I guess it is just going to run right in and get damage done. Okay, well, that's not the way it was supposed to happen. But he is pushing in the middle of the map at the same time, so he can't afford to be kind of torn apart here.
Oh, okay, that Zealot nearly killed so many Dragoons with that mine. Oh my god, that was the worst possible mine drag. But this tank on the high ground, only getting 1 kill. But more importantly, it's forcing attention of WHITEC away from his main army, and Yes is slowly crawling forward with this. Now there is an observer over the army. He sees there's actually not that many tanks here, so as long as he gets a good flank in with a lot of zealots, maybe he can make something happen. But Yes pushing up here towards that 4th base, seeing if he could cripple the economy of WHITEC here.
Well, I mean, WHITEC's economy is not insane, but he does have that other base. He just has to keep it up there. And with the tanks here, I think it's time to go. You have to stop this base from going down. So WHITEC does reposition, but he hasn't stopped the push. The central location is so hard.
All of his units over to that top right, and I mean, Yes is just going to march up to the natural. If he cuts off the units of the Protoss player, Yes is going to be, or WHITEC is going to be in a very difficult spot. There was actually an EMP going down on that Arbiter, so no stasis, no recall available. And what's WHITEC going to do? He's got such a long path back to his own natural, and it's through a choke.
I think he could have tried to go around the other way, but even that's been mined and sieged off. So this is realistically gonna be it. He has to go now, and I don't think it's gonna work out, Kicks.
Yeah, this is a really, really well orchestrated push here by Yes, going in at the perfect timing, 2-1, finishing the mines, doing so much damage to the Zealots, complete annihilation, and GG, Yes takes game number 1 against NetWars.
Wow, well, congratulations to Yes Man. He's going to take game 1 and put them up to an 1-0 lead. I think it was pretty touch and go there for a while, but Cheetah just a little bit slow on the expos, took a lot of damage from those early vulture drops, and then kind of out of position there, overreacting to the attack at his upper left base.
Yeah, now this is a dangerous position for White to be in. They lost the first game yesterday, obviously. They lost all the games yesterday. If they cannot win this series, White will go through to the finals. But if NetWars can win this series today, it's going to take them into a third ace match, which is going to be another best of 5, which will be played, I think it's, yeah, so if it happens, it'll be played tomorrow. I've got sort of prospective lineup sent to me already, so depending on the outcome of this game will depend on if the ace match is played. So we'll be back in just a moment with our next game. It's going to be Bingsil versus Force, if I remember correctly, versus Ho, sorry. Thank you, Rapid, you're more on top of things than I am.
Got it.
See you guys in just a sec. Hello everyone and welcome back to the STPL. We're in White versus NetWars. It's Series 2 of their semi-final. If NetWars can win today, they'll be heading into the ace match here. Now we're going to be heading into that, possibly. I don't know why I even started talking. Either way, we've been casting a little bit, so things are getting a little bit long here. But regardless, we're going to be going into a Z here, which is nice. We just had a couple of PVTs in a row, and PVZ is pretty sick, and it's going to be cool to see both of these players.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Ho is by far one of the stronger players on WHITECLAN, and I don't know what to expect from Vingzel, but for sure, it's anybody's game. And even if WHITECLAN or even if NetWars lose this game, they can still bring it back with the next two.
Yeah, so Vingzel is kind of an unknown entity for me in NetWars. He's played 2 games. They were spread out over nearly 8 months, so it's kind of hard to say exactly how good he is. I don't really know too much about his playstyle, but the 2 games he played was actually PvPs, and he won both of them against Crush for WHITECLAN, so he did play against White before, and he was one of the wins. And he played against Herbie and won that one as well, so gonna be cool to see his PvZ. Ho, of course, one of the strongest players on WHITECLAN in the STPL, 87% win rate with 14 total wins is no mean feat. I mean, looking at his history, the amount of really, really good players he's played against to beat. He beat Dandy, he beat Bonneth, he beat Eriador, he beat Logan, he beat Julia, and he beat Ziggy yesterday. I mean, this guy is an absolute beast. His ZVP, he's actually 5-for-1 win ratio, so he is a ZVP god right now, and Vingzel is really going to be wanting to get this win on the board for WHITECLAN.
You mean for NetWars?
Yes, yes.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say he's not a traitor, Kicks. He's not going to betray his team just for points here at the very end when they need him most. So, but yeah, for Ho, he's the real deal. He's amazing. He's so sick. He's beaten all the best players except for Bonneth. So maybe if there's an ace match, that'll come back to bite him. But everybody else just about.
Yep, he actually lost against Bonneth in the ace match last time as well. So,
oh wow,
yeah, a little bit of history there. But regardless, let's have a look at our next map. It's going to be Neo Aztec. Now, Neo Aztec, one of the more standard maps. I said this before. I won't go into it too much. There's droppable naturals, which don't really come into it as much in CVP, but it is really, really good for drops. And if Ho decides to go for like a big Hydra drop late game, if we get that far, that could be really good. Obviously, storm drops are going to be insane on this map. And overall, I just can't wait to get into the game, so let's do it. It's game number 2, Vingzel versus Ho. Starting us off in the top left-hand position, we do have, I guess it's bottom left, the red Zerg fighting for white even. It's Ho. And starting us off in the bottom right-hand position, we do have the purple Protoss fighting for NetWars. It's Vingzel. And just to answer, I know I answered in chat as well, Combi. This has been a league that's been going on for a year and 5 months now. Wait, not 5 months, 4 months. It's been a long, long tournament. A lot of dedication required from the players and myself and Rapid as well. The next season is going to be starting up later this year. It is a team league, so if you want to sign up, there's a good number of teams that are actually in the STPL. Some of them aren't in the playoffs now, but there's many teams that are very accepting of new players as well. If you look on Team Liquid, there's actually a thread, but you can also contact iRk Age. You can contact Incomplete from Rev. The best place to do it is actually joining the STPL TV Discord, which is going to be, I think there's a link to it under the stream. If not, I can put one up at the end. And you can ask to see if you can join a team, and I'm sure someone will be happy to have you.
Yeah, great to get involved. If you are so inclined. And hey, there's all levels of participation, but certainly for now, we're watching the highest level of that competition. So let's just take a look at what we have in store. This is a PvZ, so you're going to see overpool just because it's so kind of cookie cutter from Zerg players. And for the Protoss player, you're probably going to have some version of a fast expand. It's all just about how greedy you want to get before you put down that Nexus.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually going to go forward straight into Nexus, so no cannon. I mean, it's going to work out for him this time, but a little bit risky. Now, just to speak about overpull in PvZ, or ZVP even, just in case people don't know, overpull kind of was a thing, but no one really did it before, because everyone just immediately went 12 hatch, because back in the day, everyone Forge Fast expanded, and when you're Forge Fast expanding, you've got no attacking units, but when Bisu came back in 2017, I think it was, 2016, he started going one gateway opening all the time, and he was just killing all these Zergs going 12 hatch with a few Zealots. So over time, overpull has become the go-to build in CVP. Like, it's pretty much 90% of the time now you will see it. It also helps against cannon rushes as well.
Yeah, it really does just defend you against a whole plethora of terrible cheese shenanigans that can come your way. But we're not seeing any of that. It's just a straight up game. Third hatchery on the way. I wonder if we're going to see a 3-hatch Hydra style here from Ho, because I don't like that. I feel like it's way too easy to stop it in its tracks. But if you can hide, especially this hatchery, and your opponent doesn't know that it's there, it should be pretty easy to find it. But denying that information would be huge.
Yeah, and I mean, this third hatchery, it's not the most forward hatchery. It is harder to scout, but it's not another natural either. So we could see 5-hatch Hydra off the back of this, which is a more macro style. We could see that 3-hatch Hydra that you did mention, but it is going to be a lair, so at the very least, we're going to be heading up to second tier of tech. The probe actually goes down very, very quickly. Well played there by Ho. And that's a moment in this game that Bingzil isn't going to be really wanting to happen. He needs as much information as possible. This is such an important game for him.
Yeah, for sure. And information, knowledge, as they say, is power. So let's see what kind of information he can get out there on the map and see for himself. You know, what does he actually see? Let me change the vision here. Nothing. Okay, well, that answers that.
Yeah, nice checking, but Bingzil, I mean, we don't really know too much about his playstyle in PvZ, so there's a lot of different options he can go for. Looks like he is going to actually go for Citadel first, instead of Stargate first, so this isn't the most normal build. You go core into Stargate almost 90% of the time in PvZ, just in case mutas are going to be coming your way, because they will really ruin your day. But going for the Citadel quicker means if Ho is going for some kind of Hydra burst, Storm is going to be out very, very quickly, and that's going to be a lot harder to do, but Ling's actually managed to squeeze past the wall and get into the base.
Man, how? Oh, as if he needed any extra help. Now, I mean, it's not like they're going to kill every probe, but they should be able to get a couple, maybe. Yep, gonna grab one, maybe even a second one if he's good on the micro. But more importantly, it's vision and attention inside the base, not across the map, dealing damage to Ho.
Yeah, and you can even look at the minimap just to see the amount of drones that Ho has at each of his bases already. And speedlings are so fast that this single Zealot is going to be running around for a very long time and it will never catch them. So these Lings, like, if you're a pro Zerg player, or you're a pro Protoss player against like peak level Jaedong, and he gets 3 Lings in your base, you may as well just quit, because you're never going to win. But obviously Ho isn't quite the level of peak level Jaedong, but he's still very, very good, making a lot of use. Oh wow, nice snaps on those probes, taking out the final 2 Zerglings, and that's going to be a weight off of Bingzil's mind.
Well, you know, for a second, until this massive wave of Zerglings crashes in here as well. It is going to get scouted by this Corsair, so perfect scouting, but it might just be a little bit too little too late. This is a lot of Lings. You know, obviously it's not possible to really bulldoze your way in for sure, but it is going to soft contain Bingzil so that Ho can maybe even expand again.
Yeah, and I mean, Ho's already going up to his 5th hatchery. It is going to be that 5-hatch style, very, very common. He's going into, I believe that's actually, yeah, speed first for his Overlord. He could obviously go for drop a little bit later on if he wants to. But it's Ho's game right now, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's able to dictate pretty well the pace of it. Finally, the Zealots are going to bust out once they have legs. These are the man lots that have the legs and +1. And so it is, it's going to be very, very scary. You have to respect this. It should be about 9, right? Let's see, 8 and I guess it's just 8. No, there's the 9th one, straggling.
Now, the interesting thing is, where Ho's been droning up so much, he doesn't actually have that much defense. It's going to be Zerglings and Hydras here to try and defend against this while the Sunken comes up. Can Vingsil actually get in and do some damage? This is going to be a really important moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's see what he can target down. He's targeting down actually the Hydras. The Sunken's just going to town. Nice drone drilling, glitching.
Damage.
The Sunken is still alive. He didn't target the Sunken at the beginning, and so it survives through everything. He's going to try to get it down here with the last couple of Zealots, but the one Zealot glitches out. The Sunken stays alive through everything.
Yeah,
and even losing all those Hydras.
The important thing is, though, all the drones have been pulled away from the main. The Zealots are actually going for the Spire, seeing if they can snipe some of this crucial tech. They're going to jump on top of the remaining units. They are going to be cleaned up, but that's a lot of lost mining time. And Vingsil is going to be very happy with the way that panned out. Obviously, if that Sunken had gone down, maybe he could have won the game outright there. But the cookie doesn't always crumble the right way, and sometimes you cover yourself in a lot of crumbs.
Well, yes. Well analyzed there, Kicks. Your analogy, as always, incredibly on point. Do not want to be covered in crumbs at any point. So let's talk about what's going on for Ho on the other side. He has, he did defend against the Zealot Swarm, the harassment, and he does have a bunch of hatcheries up. This is the 3 hatches at the 3rd style, so it's still a total of 5. And now we need lots of Hydralisks.
Yeah, now there is Storm back at home. At least Storm should be researching. He's going for Kadar and Amulet now. Or Kadarian, I always say that word wrong. But we do have 3 Photon Cannons back here. There is a DT in the top left, going to be able to deny that 4th base when it does come up eventually for Ho. But Ho needs to make some damage happen. He took a lot of economic damage before, losing a couple of drones. And here we go, looks like a nice Storm going down on those front Hydras. Some of the other Hydras actually running back into it. And Vingsil's in a good spot.
I thought for a second that was a drop overlord. I was getting very worried. But yeah, no, it's just speed, just scouting. And shouldn't actually see anything weird. So, great information coming through. But more importantly, for Ho, he has complete map control. So he can go anywhere, do anything, and even this DT should be able to get cleaned up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do a decent job getting a couple of kills on those Zerglings, but he does need to get out of there. 2nd Evolution Chamber coming up, +1 ranged attack actually coming in. No upgrades yet for Ho, which could be a bit of a problem. I mean, Ho does obviously have perfect vision right now, knows that range is only just now on the way, but obviously he can't confirm that that's not going to be +1 air attack. Obviously we don't see any additional Corsairs coming in, which eventually is going to benefit Ho because he does have the option of going for those Mutalisks, but looks like Vingsil's going to try and expand.
Well, I don't blame him, but at the same time, I mean, this is the passive option, right?
Yeah.
This is the, I can't get across the map and do anything to you, so I'm just going to try to get up a 3rd base. And so often, Protoss players just have such a hard time getting their 3rd base up, because while they're trying to secure that, their opponent has been building nothing but Hydralisks and maybe even Lurkers, and actually the Lurker aspect on the way. So this is going to be a very difficult 3rd to hold.
Yeah, I mean, the one benefit he's going to have is he'll be able to put down a good number of cannons there, but his unit movement, very, very strange to try and defend this base. Looks like he does actually want to push forward, maybe get some damage in before the Lurkers finish. I mean, if he hits at the right timing and the Lurkers are morphing, looks like it won't be the case, but he is going to move forward, see if he can, like, poke towards the army and see what can happen. Let's have a look at the Storms, see how good they are.
They're actually, like, I guess, decent, but not, insane. The bigger thing is, like, as Protoss, you overextend the further you push out onto the map, and this is maybe just playing into Ho's hands. Ho does not have a ton of supply, and there are a few more Storms left. That's a really nice one up there on the high ground. But actually, the Protoss army is going to be stopped in its tracks by those Lurker eggs morphing on the ramp.
Trouble is, though, this Protoss army is actually very, very strong right now. A lot of the Zealots did actually survive. The Lings got taken down. And if there's no Lurkers here, there's no splash. The Zealot's going to get on top of the other units. This is very, very dangerous. Ho does not have that many units. A nice Storm going down on those Lurker eggs. Going to be able to get them before they can morph. That's 3 dead Lurkers. And there's so many Dragoons.
Yeah, the Lurker's dying is so huge. The Dragoons prevail. The Zealots buffering perfectly. Does he actually have any storms? Yeah, I think he does actually have a storm there. Oh, the storms, the stormiest of storms. So good here. And this is just going to be so much damage here from Vingzel. But he does have to keep an eye on these Lurkers. He's got to target them down. So many spines actually going off. He has to kill those 2 Lurkers in the back. Grabs one, second one actually alive and well. So actually, Vingzel is being kind of corralled here, and with more and more cracklings running in, I think this Protoss army is going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, this is definitely a dead Protoss army, but he's done so much damage, traded so effectively with these units, and Ho is still only on 3 bases. Ho doesn't have that massive economy for this point in the game. High Templar trying to run away, it's not cracklings, there's no Hive yet on the way for Ho. And I mean, that's a really good trade for Vingzel. Look back at his base, he's got so many units already. His second army is almost as powerful as the first.
Yeah, completely mission accomplished there. This is exactly what you have, what you want to have happen as a Protoss player. You stop a 4th base from coming up. You get in there and deal damage to either the economy or the infrastructure. And behind this, there's just nothing in the world you can't do. He's already getting +2. I think that is
That's
plus
+3.
+3. It's +3. Holy cow! It's gonna be a very highly upgraded Protoss army.
Yeah, it's already 2-1, and there's only 1 carapace done for these Zerg units. He has got 1 ranged attack as well, but he doesn't actually have any Hydralisks anymore to make use of it. A lot of them went down, a lot of the remaining ones were morphed into Lurkers. He's going to have to play a lot more defensively, and he's forced into taking this 3rd hatchery at the mineral only. This isn't the base he wants to take. He needs another gas.
Oh yeah, he really does. I mean, mineral onlys are sort of the consolation prize, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a base here, but you definitely need more than that, especially as Protoss, for sure. I mean, maybe even more so as Zerg. But the 4th base is just only now coming up for Ho here as well. So both players kind of ironically in the same exact situation.
Oh, this is dangerous. Look at the unit movement from Vingzel, moving all the way down to the bottom right, expecting a big drop, but no! There's a big counterattack going into the 3rd base here for Vingzel. But is this a lot of units that are going to go down? The storm is huge!
Whoa! Huge storm there. That means that the Nexus will probably survive here through everything. Storms on the Lurkers up here does actually kill both of those, and Vingzel might be a little bit late to the party, but he does clean everything up when he returns.
Yeah, and he doesn't lose that many probes. That's the big aspect of that defense. Really well done. And all of a sudden, Vingzel's army is so much bigger than Ho's. Ho is going to try and move in with his speedlings, but Hive still not done. Cracklings would make this so amazing. Like, they would have killed all 3 of those cannons already if those were cracklings, but no.
For sure. Yeah, cracklings are no joke. So definitely something to keep an eye out on, to watch. They'll do not have that coming through. I love how he storms like 2 Zerglings just to try to save the High Templar.
I mean, gotta get that value energy. Obviously more free, even though Zerglings are only 25 minerals apiece. It's still 75 energy, which is completely free. That's free real estate right there. And Vingzel's going to move forward once again. His army getting exponentially stronger. +3 attack. Very close to being finished. About just over 2/3 of the way done. So maybe should wait for that to finish here. But what exactly does Ho have? He's just got a lot of speedlings and a couple of Lurkers. That's not going to be enough to deal with all of this. Protoss.
Yeah, and I can't believe Adrenal is just now being started. You know, it's not like it's cheap, it's not like it's, you know, low tech, but you gotta get it. It's so broken, it's so insane. And he doesn't have it yet. He won't have it for this fight. This might be the only fight that matters. Oh my goodness, huge storms, but there are Lurkers behind this. Let's see if he's able to get in range. Or actually, yeah, just probably doesn't want to fight right here.
Yeah, he's trying to go around. He doesn't want to lose all his zealots. He knows that, oh my god, the storms are going to be so important here. There's so many lings. There's more lings than any other unit on the battlefield right now. But all of them going down to some fantastic storms. And these Archons going to be worth their weight in gold. The Observer is still alive. Good usage of that actual speed on the Observers here. Making it a little bit easier to micro them, but the Archons pushing forward, going to try and get as much damage as they can do on the ramp, but needs to pull back from the Lurker fire.
Yeah, the Lurkers are actually just dealing so much damage. Oh my god. Well, Vingzel has to head all the way back home. Now, Vingzel is actually in a pretty decent spot right now, especially army-wise, but he can't lose everything little bit by little bit as he runs forward and backwards, so he does need to be decisive here.
Yeah, now to have a look back at the bases, looks like Bingzil still doesn't have that many more gateways. He's actually run out of space in his main. But he does have so many units just dotted around the map here. Still no third or fourth gas even for Ho. Unlike Bingzil, who can put a load of cannons down in the middle, Ho isn't going to be able to take that middle base. That half gas is not going to come to him at any point in this game, unless Bingzil just decides to sit in his base for some reason. But Bingzil's army, the more energy he gets, the more High Templar he gets, and the more Archons he gets, it's just going to become so much harder for Ho. Oh, and there's even a DT blocking the drone from getting that base.
Yeah, that's like adding insult to injury. I really like it, and it's got that drone kill, so mission accomplished there. So for Ho, where do you go from here? You have to try to defend this base. I don't even know if he can. Look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 storms ready, and we're just about to ready to let her rip. Storms on the cracklings will take out most of those. There's not even that many hydras coming through. You storm the cracklings when you run in, you storm the lurkers in the back, you storm, 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 and everything dies. Bingzil absolutely crushing.
Yeah, and another drone just went down on that 5th base to the DT. That's not too much of an important thing at the moment. You can just see Bingzil's army doing so much damage with that 3-1 upgraded here. And Ho is desperately trying to hold on. But how can you deal with this Protoss army, even with the amount of hatcheries he's got? He's struggling so much.
It's going to be very, very close. Look at the power of Storm. The Lurkers, though, they do prevail, and so that's going to be kind of his saving grace, because if I'm not mistaken, there's no Observer with this army.
Yeah. The Observer got taken down, I think, in the previous engagement, but I mean, there's no drops coming in yet for Bingzil. Maybe while this was going on, if he'd have dropped, say, 2 DTs in the... Oh, he is going to drop now. If that had come a little bit earlier, I think that just would have killed Ho. But you can see Ho's supply is so low, and so is his money. He's actually slowly getting mined out of his main. It's not often you see a Zerg player mine out his main sort of in the mid-game, but Ho just hasn't been able to expand again. He's trying to add on another hatchery, but he doesn't have the money to use the lava.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a...
I was going to say, this could be the big game changer. There's a Defiler mount coming in here, and that's going to really help his Lings. When you get Plague going, you get Swarm as well. All of a sudden, this Protoss army is not doing as much as it could have done.
You know, you're right, Kix, but the idea of a Protoss army is that you kind of want to expend it, especially if you're going for a gateway-centric unit composition. And that's exactly what's happening here. I actually can't believe it's 20 minutes we don't have any Defilers. Those things are good, but let's see how well Bingzil is going to be able to push up this ramp into Lurker fire. Those Lurkers getting quite a few shots off, but eventually they will be taken down. That should actually allow Bingzil to get into a good spot. Now he is being flanked by a ton of Lurkers from behind. Where does he decide to where does he decide to use his storms? Usually on the north path, but maybe southern path as well. Tons of dead cracklings. They pop to these storms so quickly. More storms coming through, and even though it does blanket a little bit of Bingzil's army, he's getting a lot of damage done.
Oh, he needs to be careful though. 4 High Templar in range of 3 Lurkers. Bingzil's army getting annihilated here. I mean, the benefit is he killed all of the drones, it looks like, at the natural. A lot of... Oh no, they got transferred over to the main when sort of things turned south there. But the High Templar going down. Bingzil still in a very good position. Ho stuck down at 57 supply. We see a 5th base coming in here for Bingzil. Obviously he's mined out his main and natural a lot quicker, but Ho just doesn't really have any drones anymore either. Ho's on his last legs.
Yeah, no, Ho is not in a great spot at all. I mean, you can look at the supply differential if you just want an easy way to look at that, but more importantly, it's like the density. You're running 2-1-3 or 3-2-1 if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Protoss units, and for the Zerg, I mean, it's just a shadow of that. It's 3-1. But it's carapace, not weapons. So these, even with the crack upgrade, it's just not as strong, not as crazy as you expect it to be.
Okay, well this is the big moment where cracklings and defilers come into play. You can see that there's cannons under the swarm being taken down by just a lone crackling here, but the storm's getting in, doing a lot of damage. The lurkers underneath the swarm going down as well. That's a dead defiler. Ho is on 27 minerals. You can see another load of cracklings going in on this 3rd base. Gonna be able to take this down, no problem. But how is he gonna deal with the army? He's actually not even focus firing this. things are not looking good, but more and more units swarming across the map here for Ho. He's gonna try and break these positions, but there's so many zealots and so much storm. Can he make something happen?
Yeah, he's gonna try to flood in here, but look at the storms. You can't run through that. The cracklings just evaporate. There's plenty of cannons behind this, and yeah, I mean, Vingsil is not, he wasn't born yesterday. He knows exactly the ways he's gonna lose this game, and he's airtight against them.
Yeah, great play by Vingsil coming out here in this second game. I mean, yes, this Nexus is going to go down, but guess what, Ho? Vingsil has 2 more that are mining, and they're probably perfectly fine because there's a big army coming to your base. You've killed all of your own lings by throwing them into cannons, and there's absolutely nothing back home that he can do to defend against this army.
Nope. I mean, it was a pretty good effort to try to get out there and make that big stab, but I think this is just it. There's just no units here. It's 54 supply to 173. Vingsil killing it here for NetWars.
Yeah, it looks like NetWars are going to be able to get that first win on the board. GG. Ho taps out. Vingsil stays in for a little bit just to get a little bit of a victory lap in there. Wants to make sure he sees the last buildings die, and that's going to be tying the series up 1-1.
Wow, incredible play there. I did not know what to expect from Vingsil, but he really delivered. Kicks, what a solid way to play that PVZ, even in the face of things like defilers with Dark Swarm, lurkers containing you. What else was there? There was some really powerful crackling engagements, but man, Vingsil just held it all off.
Yeah, and I just saw something in the chat that made me laugh. But either way, that's going to take us into our third game. It's going to be another PvZ. It's going to be Bonneth this time for NetWars against Force for White. So see you guys in just a sec. Hello guys, welcome back to the STPL. You're watching the second series between White and NetWars in this semi-final. Yesterday, White took down NetWars 4-0. It was looking a little bit tense in the first game here. If NetWars do not win this series, they will not have a chance of getting into the final. But Vingsel there coming out from left field, not really appeared in the STPL too much, getting a win over Ho, who's one of White's strongest players, and finding a way into this series for NetWars.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for NetWars is that they have the strongest part of their roster coming up next, and I honestly think for now WHITECLAN might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the next players, we're going to be going into Bonneth now. Bonneth, historically, his PvZ hasn't been the best. Like, it's definitely his worst matchup by far. Especially in the STPL. I mean, he's 2 for 5 against Zerg. But this is Bonneth. Like, when Bonneth needs to be good, he's good. Like, he will come out, he will absolutely boss it. And if you're wondering why he wasn't in the Corrupted Cup qualifiers today, someone in Zero's chat said that apparently Bonneth and his wife are expecting a baby, and apparently their expected date is around the time of the Corrupted Cup finals, so he's actually opted not to play, but here he is in the STPL, and he's just a great player overall.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's the full package. And on the other side, what do you think about Force?
Force is interesting because he's not actually played in the STPL. A while ago, Gyro actually sent me a long list of players, which I've long since forgotten, because there was about 90 players. He told everyone who everyone was. I don't know if Force is like an ex sort of pro or ex practice partner or something, but for them to send out Force, he must be good, because before this series, when White got eliminated from round 4, but they knew they were going to be in the finals anyway because they'd already won 2 rounds, Gyro said to me that they weren't going to hold back. And I mean, the players have sent out already, they're some of their best players in their entire roster, and Force is bound to be up there. They don't want to lose this game. So, I mean, we're going to have to get into the game to find out exactly what's going on, and we're going to be doing that game on Icarus as our third map. Icarus, a great map overall. It's 4-player, super standard, went through all this before pretty much. The spawns are in like a plus position, kind of like Katrina SE. I think they're exactly in the same position as Katrina even. And depending on where the players spawn, there could be some rotational imbalances regarding sort of drops and things like that. But other than that, the center is the main focus of this map. There's 4 small bridges going around the edge, making it a little bit harder for Protoss to do what we saw Vingsel do in that last game. So let's see exactly what Bonneth's going to do. Can he take another win over Force here, or is Force going to put WHITECLAN a step closer to their position in the grand finals? Let's find out as we get into game number 3. And Aranax, this is actually the grand finals, so this is the semi-finals of the entire tournament. This is where the money is decided. The winner of this series could, if it's WHITECLAN, go on to the grand finals and be guaranteed either the first or second place position, or we could go into an ace match between NetWars and WHITECLAN, which will be another best of 5, which will be casted on Monday. But just this game specifically, we're going to be starting off on the right hand side with our blue Zerg player fighting for White. It's Force.
And his opponent on the other side of the map in the brown, playing for NetWars, the Polish powerhouse Bonneth. Just as a brief anecdote, Force, amateur player, played in some of the Sonic Star League SSLs back in the day, but his major achievement lately was qualifying for ASL. He was one of the first, I think he was the first amateur player to qualify for ASL. And a lot of people forget about him because in the early stages of ASL Season 1 and 2, a lot of the pros were still trying to come back to ASL. You had guys like Effort and Rain dropping out in the first round without winning a single map. So it's just like, wow, last lost in the group stage. And I'm just like, okay, well, see, these are all Titans that were still coming back into form. And so Force qualified for ASL Season 2, and he got seeded into a very, very difficult group with Effort, Rain, Light, and Force. And so he lost 0-2, not super surprisingly, but he did qualify for ASL. He's played in the big leagues. So he is like an actual person that, is legitimately good at the game.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing to note, at least from my side as well, the last time we saw Bonith play a PBZ on this map, do you remember what happened, Rapid?
No.
He played against Zerg, and his wall was bad, and he lost.
Oh, that's right. He lost in like 10 seconds. Oh
yeah.
My goodness.
But this time, he put the Forge down. He then cancelled the Forge. I don't know if maybe he decided to go for a gateway first instead, or maybe he was just checking the wall. But he checked it, checked that he wasn't making the same mistake again. And now he's ready. He's got his first Zealot going out on the map. He's actually scouted 4 Lings, so he should be feeling quite confident about that. One thing that many casters have said in the foreign scene about Bonith specifically, and I remember SouL going on about this a lot, is Bonith's Zealot micro by far is the best of any foreign Brood War player. Like, his Zealot micro is ridiculous, and this is going to be the kind of thing that can win games. Like, if he gets decent engagements, if he doesn't let Lings run through his wall, Bonith is a monster in PvZ.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a couple of like weaknesses. The timing attacks, lurker drops can kind of be his bane sometimes too. Well, let's see what these 2 Zealots can get in and do. If he's a little bit too overzealous with them, then obviously that's not great. But look at the control, moving them back and forward, and actually saving one of them, but should lose it here in just a second.
Yeah, speed finishes just in time here for Force. Now, Force did have a Ling over in the base of Bonith. It's actually still there. It hasn't managed to kill a probe. Great probe micro by Bonith, leaving that Zergling on 2 health. And that's almost a perfect situation for him. He did lose those first 2 Zealots. He traded away for a lot of Lings, forced a lot of lava into Lings as well. And you can see that Force is trying to get his 3rd base at this natural expansion. But when you look at where this is on the map, it's very, very close to Bonith. And Bonith is sending out a probe to scout. Let's see if he can find it.
Alright, Bonith. How ghosty are you? Well, not good enough. He's... Oh man, this probe is trolling me. I don't know which direction it's going to scout.
Well, the good thing is about Bonith is he's got such experience playing this game that even if he checks the natural and the main, which he needs to see anyway, because the tech is more important than seeing a 3rd hatchery at this point. He's going to see no Hydra Den, and he's going to know that there's very likely going to be a hatchery somewhere else, because you can count the drones, you can count the buildings, and you also see the lair coming up, and that's probably the biggest tell. Now, the one interesting thing about the way Force is playing is, back in the day, this used to be the way that pretty much every Zerg played CVP. You take another natural, you get a lot of static defense, you wall it off, get good SimCity. Obviously this was popularized by Savior all the way back in 2007. I know he's kind of he who shall not be named, but he did leave a massive impact on this matchup. And you can already see where the lack of SimCity is starting to hurt Force, because 4 Zealots are going to get in his natural mineral line.
Well, 4 Zealots are very, yeah, not the things you want in your natural mineral line for sure. 1, 2, 3. Is that 4 drones going down?
I didn't count it too much. I more got distracted by the fact that the Zealot kind of ran through the hatchery.
Yeah, funny how those things work. And he's going to get them behind the mineral line. Oh, no, he's going to run away. What? I thought you just left the Zealots there. But
oh, he's trying to get to the main to do another scout, I think. And that's still going to be useful. He's going to see the Spire coming up. Force has left it alone. So he's going to get another drone. Oh my god, he's going to get another one? Oh, he's going to get it. Look at that micro.
No way. That Assassin Zealot, 2 extra drones? That's crazy. Now look, there's 5 drones mining in the main. What?
Yeah, only 5 in the main, not that many in the natural either. He's going to have to transfer a few back there. Spire obviously on the way, 4th hatchery on the way, as well as the 5th hatchery coming in. Start those SimCity here. But I mean, so far the Sim City, he's had a lot of disasters happening.
I appreciate that reference.
Yeah, it kind of fell a bit flat, but you know, I tried.
Because of the earthquake. Yeah, many fond hours playing SimCity. But as far as this game goes, I think the SimCity itself is pretty. I mean, it's much better than the last time they played because Moneth's SimCity was not good.
Yeah.
But now it is. He's kind of cleaned things up a little bit. My question is, what is going to be like? We've already seen one absolute like textbook PvZ already. Yeah. For this one, for Boneth, Boneth is not like he's very good with Reavers, but more often than not, if he can't end the game in the early mid game, he just like draws it out to ultra super late, and I don't know if that's where his strengths lie. We'll see. He's got a bunch of DTs on the way. Zealot legs finishing up here, and as long as he doesn't die to or lose his Corsairs to the Scourge, yeah, he'll be okay.
One of the things that Boneth became popular for in 2017 is he used to do this build that every time he'd run into a Zerg, he would just kill them with it. What he'd do is he'd build a load of DTs and a load of Zealots and just kind of push the third base and win. And the amount of times he won with that, it's just uncountable. But the thing is, the foreign Zergs like Eon Zerg and True Touch, they found a way past it because they knew it was coming. Like, Boneth did it every single game, so eventually you're going to run into a point where it doesn't work anymore, but Force doesn't have that experience with Boneth. He doesn't know his builds. I mean, he's seen what's going on now anyway. You can already see the Overlord with the Sunk and this DT is not going to do anything. Wait, is it going to get past? No, okay. I was going to say, is that going to be able to get past the hatchery at the top? Because that would be a disaster.
Muta's chasing the Zealots back across the map, but the DT sneaks through. It's going to be headed up to that 12 o'clock base. The Mutas, though, there's only 3 of them, so not actually all that scary. Whoa, Scourge!
Nice hit.
Nailed it.
It's one of the Corsairs. Not the easiest thing to do. We saw a good example of that yesterday, where it's like, well, that Scourge is obviously going to kill the Corsair. Nope. Doesn't work like that. But Boneth's not going to be able to find any damage with his DT. He's going to have to go into a shotlet if he wants to make something happen with those. But he is still trying. Like, it's very difficult. Maybe he can sneak it round. Yeah, he's actually going to be able to get a couple of drones here. 1, 2, 3 drones.
What?
Against all odds. Oh my god, is he really going to get into the main here? No. Okay, he just gonna take it down.
Wow, that would have been actually crazy. But I can't believe we got 3 drones there. That is definitely the bonus round for sure.
Now, Boneth is looking strong at the moment. He has thrown away a lot of units. Force went into Mutas. Well, he didn't go into too many. He actually went up to, I believe it's 6 overall now. So the Corsair count improving from Boneth is going to be very important here. But Boneth's starting to add on his extra gateways now. Oh my god, a Corsair I think just went down to another Scourge. That's pretty big. And it looks like now the Corsairs are gone. Here come the Mutas into the middle line of Boneth. It's Force's time to do some damage.
Oh boy, well, yeah, let's see how it goes. Looks like already the cannon's going down, the Scourge actually getting taken out. There's plenty of Corsairs left over, and the Mutas have to head for the hills.
Yeah, now Boneth hasn't actually opted to go for +1 air attack. He is, but it's taking a very long time to come in. So he didn't get it as quickly as maybe he could have done, but Storm is on the way. He has a couple of High Templar already. Still no additional damage coming in from Boneth just yet, but Force is moving in with a lot of units trying to snipe those Corsairs as they spawn. Oh, and he just missed that one.
Yeah, wow, how did he not get that? Scourge are actually the dumbest units in the game. I cannot believe. You get a full control group of Scourge here. Oh, look at the Archon! No, the Archon's killing everything! What on earth?
10
Force
kills!
just lost everything! Are you kidding me?
Oh man, all those Mutalists that Force has spent a long time building, all of them go down. The Scourge completely out of position. And a little bit of distraction there. I don't know what he was looking at while that was going on. Oh my god, that was close. So Corsairs nearly flew straight into all the Scourge, but the Archon, he's not done being a hero. Look at this micro!
Look at that! That's so sick! Boneth is a god! So all the Scourge completely useless, all the Mutas completely useless, and now there's this huge Protoss army shoving into this natural. There's only one Sunken here, Kicks.
Yeah, there's a few Hydras, but they're not going to stand up against the Storm. I mean, there's a lot of Blings coming in behind, but once again, Bonnet, with 4 Storms available on the side, Templar is not going to want to deal with this.
Okay, just get me out of here. What a crazy good push here. The Sunken, yeah, it's going to deal a little bit of damage. Just more Hydra spawning from
oh my god, there's even a DT here coming in with no health, just to help out. So much damage going down on this third base. The Storms, incredible here from Bonnet. And Bonnet breaks the third base.
Yeah, he's broken. He's smashed into itty-bitty pieces that are climbing up the water spout. What an incredible break. And yeah, that DT adding insult to injury. Finally getting taken out there at the end. But man, an incredible amount of damage. And now he's on the drone line. That one shot for 3 drone kills.
That Archon's got 20
value
kills.
What? Oh man, Hero Archon.
Absolute value. That's the guy who killed all the Mutalists and very well may have won Bonnet the game here. The Hydra's coming in at the back, going to be able to take down these Dragoons eventually. But it's not just Dragoons here. He's got the Archon, he's got the Zealots as well. And the Corsairs are killing more and more Overlords. There's nothing to contest them anymore. Oh, and the Hero Archon, yeah, the Hero Archon goes down.
Aww. I was hoping that we could have some really strong Hero Archon storylines there. I could give it one of my superhero names, because that's all I've been watching lately. But hey, the Corsairs are still doing their job. They're shooing away the Overlords, and they actually might be able to kill quite a few of them.
Ooh, but Bonnet is up for Bonnet's third base. There's a lot of units coming in to deal with this, but the Hydras could get a lot of probes.
I mean, look at how fast the leg lots are. They're just gonna speed their way up there, and I mean, they've got 1-1, so the Hydras are just not even gonna stand a chance. Now, actually, kind of ironic that the Hydras are hiding behind the mineral lines, which is where usually the Zealots would hide.
Oh, the target firing on the probes as well, taking out a lot of them. The Hydras go down. The third base is in absolute devastation right now. No Sunkens, no drones. There's a lot of mining going on in the main. And this main does have 9 mineral patches, so it's I think that's normal. But either way, Icarus, still a very strong map, very easy to defend that main. But here we go, here is the signature Bonnet moves, getting that shuttle, pulling the Zealots into the main, and there's very little here to defend. More units going down, going into the third base, and I think this could be checkmate.
We're getting pretty close to there. This is just crazy amounts of damage. Finally, though, the Corsair count's going to be kind of dealt with. It's taken down back to 3. If that had been allowed to stay up at around like 6 or so, that's when you actually just can't build air units anymore. But a surprise burst of Mutas is going to retake the air. I guess force for force, and that means you're not going to be able to do it in the air. You're going to have to do it on the ground, and this also makes the High Templar a lot more vulnerable because of all the Mutas.
The thing is, though, he does have that Archon there. He's got a lot of Dragoons, and more importantly, he's just got a ton of units. There's not enough here to stop this. Bonnet pushing into the third base once again, going for the jugular here, of course. He's going to even take down the hatcheries here. Storm on the drones, not going to get many of them, but Storm on the Hydras in the mineral line, doing so much damage.
Wow, these storms are just killing everything. And look at this Archon, we might have another hero. The Mutas on the high ground, though, they're actually doing quite a bit. There's a full control group. We need a big storm! Oh! Some nice storms do ferry the Mutas away, but the third base is destroyed, and soon to be the main as well.
Yeah, I mean, this fourth base, it can maybe stay alive a little bit longer, but he's got no Sunkens, he's got only Muteless there, and we've seen how much damage Storm can do. The Zealots getting in on the Hydralist. Force has nothing anywhere else on the map to come help with this, and Bonnet has played an absolute blinder here. Storm on the drones, just basically destroying the last hope, the last bastion for Force here. And Force is going to be forced to tap out very, very soon. Going for one last attack.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go for it. You got to just use your last little bit. I mean, Mutas are pretty miraculous, and he's getting a lot of damage done, to be honest, but this is just it.
Yeah, with no additional bases coming in for Force, he's not going to be really able to expand anywhere else. The one benefit Force has is Bonneth is almost mined out. So if if Force can somehow manage to get the ultimate value with his Mutalisks, this game could still go on a little bit longer. But if Bonneth just pushes the other main at this point, I'm not really sure there's enough units here for Force.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't think Force is going to be able to win this. Even just the Archons, the splash damage is just catastrophic. Everything is exploding.
Yeah, so Force is still trying to hold on with his Mutas. The Hydra's going down. I mean, Force is still trying to pull back. He's actually got a lot of Hydras still at the third base. Maybe he can go for a counterattack and kill the natural of Bonneth, but the question is whether he can actually hold on to his natural, and it's not looking good. You can see he thinks he has a chance. He's adding on a lot of creep colonies, but they've not been able to morph into Sunken just yet. The Zealots getting on top of all the units. The Archon coming in, getting a huge shot on those Mutalisks. And this is bound to be it. Force has got nothing left. There's even a Dark Archon here. Where is the
Maelstrom? Oh, it doesn't get it off. I guess he's a few energy short. Yeah, he has seven too few energy. Okay, well. Anyway, absolutely massive victory here. Bonneth playing it completely correctly every step of the way. What a god. What a god.
Yeah, I mean, Force is down at 38 supply now. Bonneth up at 92. Bonneth is mined out of his main now. He's almost mined out of his natural, but Force doesn't even have enough drones to mine. You can see the remaining drones of Force even being pulled back to this sunken colony. There's 87 health. Oh my god, the micro of the drone drill trying to keep the sunken alive and the hopes of Force, but no, the sunken goes down, and now there's absolutely nothing that Force has. So in fact, there's another sunken down here and a few Hydralisks, but wow, he's holding on still, just about.
No, he's not, Kicks. It's 30 supply to 100, so I mean, sure, you can't kill him yet, and that's sort of the beauty of Brood War, is that it's very hard to kill somebody, but the inevitability does set in at some point, and so yeah, it's all over but the crying at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if Force can somehow miraculously build enough Sunkens in his main base to not die, Bonneth is going to run out of money. But Bonneth has two large armies heading towards Force. He's got more units than Force has supply now, obviously.
That's
Storm on the top of the ramp. GG. Bonneth takes down Force and gives NetWars a 2-1 lead in this best of 5.
What a crazy game, and it's just so sick to watch guys like Bonneth who are 100% certain of exactly what to do at every step of the way. I was a little bit worried about the Air Force there for a while, but there was that one big moment that I really think bought Bonneth a ton of breathing room, where the Mutas AFK'd for like 1 second, and they all exploded that one hero Archon, which got 10 kills, and then later on got 20 kills.
That was ridiculous.
Archon's just really the big unit there for Bonneth. And that's not really an iconic Bonneth unit that you really identify with him, but they were killing it that game.
You'd always expect like Reavers from Bonneth there, but he didn't build a single Reaver. He didn't need it. He just absolutely demolished Force there. Really well played, going for perfect burst twice in a row. And Force was just on the back foot after that first burst. Really, really well played by Bonneth there. That's going to take us into game number 4. It's going to be between Yeti and Iris. He's not Iris as in Berserker. He's a different Iris. It's hard to explain. But it'll be on Hitchhiker when we get back after this very short break. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, welcome back. We've got NetWars up 2-1 over WHITECLAN with one game away from taking it to the entire ace match. Not only in this series if WHITECLAN win, but if NetWars win 3-1 here, or if they win 3-2, they're going to go into a third and final best of 5 with WHITECLAN to decide who is going to make it into the grand finals. So this is pretty much their life on the line with this game. WHITECLAN are going to want to come back. They're going to want to take it to the ace match in this series so they can finish it off 2-0 like SouL did against iRk. But they've got a strong player standing up against them in this fourth game of the series.
Yeah, wow. This is a very strong part of both teams' lineup. We just got a chance to see Bonneth play, and you're like, okay, well, he's their strongest player. Maybe not. Yeti is just as insane. And Iris is another one of these just monstrous South Korean players who's like semi-pro amateur player that is just super strong. So I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be insane, and I think Yeti can absolutely bring NetWars back into this series, win this best of 5, and take it to one final best of 5 to decide who will go on to face SouL in the grand finals.
Yeah, so just to quickly mention Yeti, I know there was a lot of people doubting Yeti for a while. They were like, well, yeah, he's got the most wins in the STPL because he's been up against like some of the worst players. But when you look at Yeti recently, and when you look back at the round 4 finals where he played against Bjol, played a 45-minute macro game with one of the best Terrans in the world at this current time, ASL qualified twice in a row, won the ACS tournament, I think the first one they did. Yep. Could very well qualify again. He was very close to the second ACS win, and he won. And he beat Terror as well. He's basically gone from being someone who maybe a lot of people thinks isn't very good. Yes, he's not had the best results in solo tournaments, but he is an absolute god in STPL. He lost yesterday to Famasi. It was a very close game, but unfortunately he didn't get the win. That was a week prior to this game though, so we're not going to see the Famasi rematch because Famasi actually stepped out for his colleague, his WHITECLAN colleague Iris. So it's going to be Yeti versus Iris. There's not really too much to say about Iris, other than the fact he's got a 100% win rate. He's not been up against the best players, but he is definitely one of the better players on the WHITECLAN roster. Just to confirm, it's not the pro player Iris from back in the day. It is another player who is on a similar level, at least of Iris now, but he isn't that Iris. I think he's just a fan. But Iris really good. That's going to take us into our 4th map. It's going to be our 2-player map. It's Hitchhiker. Now Hitchhiker, just to quickly go over it, top left, bottom right hand spawns, lots of temples, lots of power generators around the map, blocking, kind of shaping the map so you, like, into kind of like a snake pattern so you can't really walk very quickly. There is the very quick path to run through in the middle of the map, but as Rapid said earlier, it's really difficult to push through, especially against Terra, and if they get tanks on the high ground, then you're just going to lose all your Protoss units. So let's get into game number 4. This game is everything to NetWars right now. Can Yeti, their previous captain, pull it in, pull them for the win, and take us into the ace best of 5? Let's find out. Okay, starting us off in the top left-hand position, we have one of the heroes of NetWars in STPL. It's Yeti in the beach.
And his opponent, the other side of the map in the green, is Iris playing for WHITECLAN. Oh man, this is so hype. I love when you build up these storylines of these players or teams just being so badass, and then they play against each other, and now finally you've been hyping up these players and saying they're so good, and they play each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, you never know who's gonna win because you hype up a strong player and he delivers against other strong players that don't. And so NetWars right now, I think, is in such a great spot with Yeti, kind of the strongest part of their roster, exactly where they need him.
Yeah, so Iris, he's going to be the one here to actually start us off really. He's going for a wall at the top of his ramp. The way this map works is, I'm actually just going to show it quickly because I know the map preview is a little bit hard to tell. There is a natural out in front of your base, but it's really hard to defend. You can actually wall off this location here, but that's also very hard to defend. So iRk is going to have to kind of go for this a little bit later. You can actually go for a mineral only base, which is completely defended against everything by these two temples outside of both the main bases. And it's going to be up to really Yeti to dictate the pace of this game. Now Yeti, quite well known for doing really well with Reavers. He's actually taken out players with purely Dark Templar as well. And I'm kind of interested to see exactly how this is going to go.
Yeah, so for the early part of the game, all you need to worry about is how annoying is the probe? Does it get things like gas steals or mana pylons or things like that? And the answer is no for the gas steal, but maybe the mana pylon. Nah, I'm not going to go for it. But he is going to get in and get the scout and make sure that he knows that it's a gas expand, not a Nexus First or anything. Yeah, or 14cc.
Funny thing is, the probe can't get away by walking that way, but it can actually just go all the way over the other side of the map, and he'll have to chase it. Oh my god, he nearly actually glitched himself through the wall. Oh my god, is he gonna get this SCV again? He did this against Famasi yesterday. The repair
coming through. You can't out damage repair, can you? Yeah, you can.
It's tough. He doesn't look, well, it doesn't look like he wants to give up the probe. He does want to keep this alive as long as possible. But look at where this probe's gonna run. I mean, this Marine can chase it forever. But guess what? That's a Marine, not your wall defending it. So we do have that first Zealot on the way. That's going to force this Marine to come back. And you'll notice that iRk hasn't actually opted to build another Marine. So all of a sudden, this Marine going over to the other side of the map isn't going to help him. But Yeti does need to keep this probe alive, like for sure.
How is Yeti keeping this probe alive for so long? Wow, that's pretty remarkable. I hope he baits this Marine into an untimely demise. And once again, this is another opportunity where I really wish we were playing this on the Carbot mod, because I want to see this little derpy Marine chase this little derpy probe everywhere.
That wasn't linked, or wasn't Zealot tight even. The Zealot actually just runs straight through.
How is that not Zealot tight?
Messed up the wall somehow. I don't know how, but the Zealot gets in the main. This is massive, massive damage. A lot of mining time being taken away from iRk, who's relying a lot on his economy. He's only got one base.
There's a Dragoon here. What? Oh my god.
Okay, so there's two Marines. The third Marine only just now coming back with this probe. But the Zealot actually taking out one of the Marines. Get away.
I mean, this is still kind of tragic. What on earth? How do you mess up a wall like that? Now there's a Dragoon that can kill everything. I mean, maybe not 3 Marines, but okay, yeah, lifting up gonna go for the Marine kill, but he's gonna take the Marine out and then maybe even just run away.
You know, I almost feel like building the extra supply depot there messed up the wall, but second Dragoon coming in here, this is a very, very important moment. iRk needs to kill these Dragoons with the SCVs, but it's so hard. They're always buttered up with, like, melted butter somehow, and it's like he's just moving around. Yeti's Dragoon control very good, but one of the Dragoons actually gets caught up against the gas. Good move by iRk.
Oh, that was huge. The surround, and now with the tank out, he's bought just enough time. Plus, SCVs have infinite health, so yeah, very well played there by iRk. That was a little bit scary, but especially after failing that wall off, he's gonna re-wall in a different way, which looks a little bit janky, but at least that'll keep the Zealots out, you know?
Yeah, the trouble is, though, the longer this game goes on, if we get to see one of those crazy 40-minute Yeti games again, Arbiters are going to be really strong against that wall, because it's so easy to just completely block it off with a single stasis unit. So he's going to have to be careful. iRk is going to have trouble pulling his units back and forth through it as well. And there's a command center coming up, but he can't really expand right now. He's not really in a position to.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll build this a little bit early just to crank out a bunch of SCVs and then have a massive transfer and get back to saturation. But you're right, now is not the time for expanding. It is the time for making sure you're not going to die. And he is safe, so not to get it twisted, it is going to be a pretty passive game from here on out.
Yeah, not only that, iRk had a perfect scout with his SCV, gets in, sees the Nexus coming up, sees there is already a shuttle out, sees the Robo support bay, so he knows there's Reavers coming. Now, his teammate actually likes going for Starport. Yes, man, he goes for Starport every game I've seen of him. But looks like he's going to play a little bit more conventional. He's going in for the engineering bay. This is kind of the more classic style. Going for a Wraith has kind of been popularized. It was popularized in about 2010, but still, even now, not many people do it because it leaves you a lot weaker and it puts your factory count lower. But looks like we are going to see a couple of turrets coming up. Still one factory, and this is still pretty bad for iRk because he's not really able to do anything. He can't actually achieve anything in the game right now.
Yeah, what is iRk going to? I mean, to some extent, all the Terran player needs to achieve is staying alive and getting up a natural expansion. So he's doing both of those, and I guess that's kind of all he needs to do. But, you have to make sure you don't die to what's coming your way. And look at what we're doing. We're elevatoring to the high ground.
Oh, this is so good.
With a Reaver.
This is using the map features to their absolute best. And the thing is, the unit's going to run in round the back. There's there's a couple of tanks that are actually in a really good position. iRk showing his knowledge of this map as well. This is pretty much the perfect place. You want your tanks coming in. But this third tank's going into the natural. That's where he thinks he needs to defend. But look, the Dragoons are actually in range of the mineral line from just the high ground. He doesn't even need to push forward.
Oh, this is so huge. Now running forward, going to drop the Reaver right there. Can he get the shot off? Yes, it does.
Oh, the shuttle goes down with the Reaver in it.
The turret. No, that's tragic. Oh my goodness, Yeti was in such a good spot. And now he's not.
Yeah, I mean, Yeti's still in a good spot. He's got the natural nexus up, but obviously we're going to start seeing the power of Terran coming in here. This is the exact move that iRk needed to come back, because he took so much damage early on to just a couple of zealots and a miss SimCity wall. So let's see exactly what Yeti's going to do. You can see that Yeti's forced iRk to put a tank all the way back behind here. And behind this, I mean, Yeti's going to go for a third base.
Yep, Yeti getting up a third base is exactly on time. Should be, actually, wow, it's not really on time because it's at the same time as iRk's. What? Why is iRk taking a third base here? That is very confident.
Well, when you look at the sort of architecture of the map, Yeti can't push. Like, it's going to be a long time before he breaks through these temples. And if you break through those temples, you're just opening yourself up to vulture rumbuys later on. So, I don't really know if this is the best choice for Yeti.
Yeah, for Yeti, I mean, I guess he has the option to put on okay, so he's gonna run in with a speed shuttle. This should actually put in a decent amount of work.
Yeah, now there is a ledge above this third base, so Storm Drop later on could be very good, but you can see that iRk just has so many turrets everywhere, so many tanks in all of the right places. Oh, the Reaver Scarab getting caught, gonna go down, getting 3 of those SCVs, and unlike last time, the shuttle gets away to come back yet another day.
That's right. So nice little get in, get out, bombing run kind of move. I'm gonna run back and pick up a couple more zealots and probably try to hit back from the main or kill off these temples to open up a side alley.
Now, interestingly, Yeti still doesn't have this third base coming up, so iRk is actually going to take the macro lead here, but looks like the shuttle coming back in, going to try and bomb a couple of these tanks, but can't quite get the Zealot to come out. A little bit unfortunate, but here we go, the Reaver coming back in. Let's see how the Scarab is. Oh my god, a huge Scarab!
What?
9 kills on this Reaver. 11 now.
Even more. Oh no, on both tanks? If he had waited, he could have killed both of those tanks. He might have lost the Reaver for it, but a Reaver for 2 tanks, I'd almost take that trade.
You know what? The Reaver is in the main. All the turrets are on the outside. Oh, it doesn't manage to get another Scarab off, but that is certainly worth it. I mean, iRk is set back supply-wise. Yeah, he's got 3 command centers, but losing 11 SCVs? That's massive.
You know, it's massive, but he's got triple CCs, so he's going to be able to produce those SCVs back at it again. I don't know. I honestly think the biggest thing for me is how slow the third expansion is for the Protoss. Like, as a Protoss, by the time the Terran has 3 bases, you want like 5 or something. So, not exactly where he wants to be, but he's still getting out there, and he's got Actually, he lost the shuttle and the Reaver, so he doesn't have anything really anymore. But he is breaking down some of these Xel'Naga temples, so that'll hopefully help him get a better avenue either towards the corner base in the bottom left or towards harassing from that avenue on the high ground.
Yeah, he could also take this island base. I mean, it's not the most common base to take, but I guess it is a lot further away from your Terran opponent than the other one is. I mean, it looks like he's going to try and take this base in the top right. It's going to be a long time before Yes or iRk even can break through, but he's going to break through as well. He wants to expand. He needs the gas. And you know what? For the first time in STPL, I think we're actually going to have a vertically split map on Hitchhiker.
Yeah, this map never gets split this way, because if you have to spend all the time working towards breaking through these power generators and stuff,
there's not
a lot of times
units at this third base, sorry.
Yeah, this can really catch your opponent off guard. iRk did not see this coming at all, and now the SCVs, I think they were trying to like run in and repair the tanks. No, there's way too much Protoss here.
Yeah, this is going to be a dead third base, I think. Obviously it can lift, but that's a lot of SCVs going down. A lot of units from iRk pulled away from breaking his way through the temples. And this is nothing. This is pocket change for Yeti right now. He's going to get a fourth base at the top right, which is still... Oh my god, is he really going to get this command center?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no.
SCVs coming through? Yeah, they'll be able to repair that. I mean, he's losing a lot of SCVs. He is going to take out the command center just barely. A couple more volleys. Yeah, he gets it. Wow, that's insane. Yeti, massive pickoff.
Yeah, iRk is just not handling Yeti's pressure at the moment. I mean, he's... Oh, and there's Stargate, 2 Stargate carrier coming up behind this, and this is the perfect map for it. Very, very difficult to get Goliaths around to try and deal with these carriers. Fourth base coming up. iRk has been completely stopped from being able to take out these Xel'Naga temples. And he can't do anything. He's going to have to struggle to take this mineral only again. But if you're going mineral only, you can't get Goliaths. You can't afford to deal with carriers.
Yeah, I know, you're exactly right. I mean, carriers are sort of the nail in the coffin. They're like, I've gotten to a good enough place where now I can sit back, relax, and get these things up that will win me the game. And so he's building them 2 at a time. I believe they're unscouted, correct? Or did they get scanned?
The scans went down on the extra bases, so no scan on the Stargate just yet.
Wow, well that might really catch
Reaver! Oh my god, the Scarab!
Oh my god, oh my god, not again. Oh my god. Alright, well, I just dropped the Reaver, dude. I gotta see how many kills it has.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping an eye on that as well. I just want to see what happens. The third base only just now coming up back up for iRk. iRk has got an SCV in the bottom left, but little does he know, the temples are gone, so that will go down if he tries to build that. But picking up more Zealots, going to fly straight back in with those shuttles. Constant pressure coming in here for Yeti. But now we've finally seen the temples go down. No, he actually just dropped them. There's a couple of vultures coming in to do some harassment. Oh, he's actually going from multiple angles. This is good.
Oh, look at the Reaver. He's coming back in again. He's looking for another one. He's going to drop it right on the tank. Can he get the Scarab off? Oh my god. 11 kills on the Reaver. He's going for more. And finally, oh, is it going to go down even? Oh my god, it's still alive. He gets 3 more from the splash damage.
iRk sent a lot of his vultures in. Didn't do much damage at all. And the Reaver's going to fly back out. He's going straight back into the natural. All the units have been...
Oh, the transfer! Oh! I mean, it did deal splash damage from its death, but in the end, maybe what, like 15 kills on that Reaver? Absolutely huge.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Yeti getting units up. I mean, he's not mining from his 4th base, which is decent. But there's a dropship coming up here. It's got a tank and 2 vultures. Could be going for that high ground above the 3rd. But there's already a load of dragoons in defense here. Oh, yeah, he is actually just going to go for this 4th base. I mean, it's going to be difficult for Yeti to be able to deal with this. But look in the main, there's already 3 carriers.
Yeah, and he's going to be building even more. I think, yeah, there are the 5th and 6th carriers. Coming up, so now what do we have? We have a shuttle with a Reaver. We've got 4 carriers, and this is just massive. I think Yeti is, well, not, you know, he hasn't pounded the nail in the coffin yet, but he's poised to be able to give NetWars a breath of fresh air back in to this series.
And carriers have arrived now. They're moving across the map. The anti-air from iRk is just a couple of turrets. He's got some Goliaths back in his third base, but if the carriers go to his main, they have got a long way back. But iRk is making the move that could also give him a good position. He's pushing towards Yeti's main, and Yeti's units are out of position as well. But these carriers, the carriers are the big story. Oh my god. Make sure you kill the turrets. Yeah, there we go. I thought he was going to lose a turret or a carrier to a turret, but the dropship going to go down. The Goliaths are coming back. The tanks and vultures pushing forward. Does Yeti actually have enough in defense? Yes, he's doing damage here, but if he loses his main, that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this base almost certainly dead, but he's going to make sure that he can just guarantee the death on these bases to the side. He has to make sure that he doesn't lose his carrier production facilities. So, but he does have 2 more carriers popping out right there in time to defend. Yep, the siege is good, and there's lots more blue goo being poured out on the ground. I wonder if he's going to actually pull back for this one. He didn't actually kill the command center.
Yeah, I think he just tried to go for as many SCVs as possible, but this push by iRk, it's going to kill the Stargates. I mean, there's 2 carriers here, but they don't really have interceptors yet. They've only just spawned. But the other 4 carriers are coming up to meet him. iRk has not actually done that much damage. Only one of the Stargates is going to go down for now. And all the gateway units and all the gateways are actually still alive. Oh, but Yeti flying his carriers into the Goliaths there. This is the big moment. Can he kill these tanks and the Goliaths? Okay, he's forced to unsiege. The Dragoons are coming in here. There's a lot more units coming back here from iRk, so this is turning into a really epic battle over this position.
Yeah. But
this could
if
go
you look,
way.
the Goliath count, is that actually high enough? I mean, the interceptor count. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Yeah, yep, that's a Reaver.
Yep, he's killed all the SCVs at the natural, the Reaver in the main, the Goliaths are going down, the tanks do kill all of the Dragoons. But there's no mining. Oh no, the shuttle's going to go down with the Reaver inside. I wouldn't like to be a Reaver in this game for Yeti. They haven't really survived too often, but the carrier micro at the same time has been really good. He's taken out all of the Goliaths now. The tank count is going to be reset to 0. And we've been blessed with a good series here today, Rapid.
You know, we really sure have, Kicks. This is really delivering. So let's keep an eye on what needs to happen right now. So iRk needs to defend some of his bases. He had them up and down and up and down. These are like the trampoline bases, but he needs to stabilize and get these bases up. What's his Goliath count on now? Is it good enough? I think maybe just barely, but I don't know if they're all in the right place.
Thing is, Yeti, I mean, he's got a lot of carriers. His carrier count is continuing to increase, but he did lose 2 of his Stargates. If iRk can hold on for long enough here, Yeti is going to mine out of his bases, but he just can't get the trades he needs, and he's so low on SCVs. The CC is being targeted down the repair doing so much, but is it going to be enough?
I can't believe how broken Mass Repair is. It's just so good. So he has to kill off the SCVs, which is really annoying because now the Goliaths can come in here. Now he has to kill the Goliaths. The base survives, and he gets to keep mining from it. Let's see. Focusing down the carriers, one of them very, very low. He's trying to pull it away, and he just barely is able to bring that to safety. But I think the carriers are just dealing catastrophic damage. It's 125 to 75. And Yeti, I believe, is doing it.
Yeti with a fantastic PvP once again in a very important match for NetWars. Always counting on Yeti has been NetWars' strategy for a very long time. And you know what? In the STPL, it's paid off. Yeti's going to get this command center. I mean, he's going to make sure he kills it. Third base, going to go down as well. And iRk is going to be mining from 1 base, 1 gas, because the gas in his main would have surely depleted at this point. And just an amazingly played game by Yeti.
I honestly can't believe it. This is just the best NetWars has played in a long time. As a team, as individual players, they're just killing it. And now, with the carrier count rising back up to 7, oh, there's no way you could ever get enough Goliaths at this point, now that you've lost all your bases. Sure, that pocket base in the corner is mining, but you're not getting gas from that, so good luck.
Yeah, it's also
you are getting gas.
It's closest to the Protoss production as well, so if Yeti sees it, you can just go and kill it. But all the Goliaths are going to go down. Iris is not, well, he's mining off of one base barely, and just really, really good carrier micro. One of the carriers does go down, unfortunately. Not quite Stalk levels, but there's actually gateway units just flooding across the middle of the map now as well. GG, yo. Iris taps out, and Yeti takes game number 4.
Wow, and that will give NetWars a 3-1 victory over WHITECLAN to advance on to a final decider best of 5 for which team will advance on to face SouL in the finals of STPL.
Genuinely, it's really awesome that we've got this. I was kind of a bit worried after yesterday. I mean, iRk lost 3-1, NetWars lost 4-0, and I was like, oh no, it's just going to be 2-0s in both the semi-finals. But you know what? NetWars, you can never count them out. The power of Poland coming back once again. A week's training was all they needed to get back into shape. They sent out 4 Protosses, 2 of them WHITECLAN and Bingzil. They don't really play in the STPL very much. I don't know how active they are outside of that either. But they did it. They absolutely did it. They came out. WHITECLAN lost, but he was up against Yes-Man, and it was an incredible game. Then Bingzil, Bonith, and Yeti. The Protoss triple coming in with that reverse all-kill, technically, to win the series.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I'm dreaming of a world where this game happens, and I wake up and I'm like, wait a second, that's this one. Honestly, I can't really ask for much better games. It's super hyped to see NetWars win, not because I'm biased towards NetWars or anything, but because we get a final decider best of 5 between these two teams. We know that they can both beat each other, and it's really rare that you have both players and teams that are so evenly matched. So it's just going to be such a treat to watch.
I mean, I'm just going to very, very quickly, just because I have, of course, got the lineups for the match tomorrow. They aren't 100% set in stone because sometimes people have to be replaced. It's just part of life. But let me just quickly double check the lineups between these two teams, just to give you an idea of who we're going to see. So, according to my phone and according to what's planned, we're going to start with a ZBT between TrueTouch and Gecko on Judgment Day. We're going to head into a PvT between Bonith and Mind. Real Mind, WHITECLAN on, they're taking this seriously. Then we're going to have a TVZ between Koga and Ho. And then we're going to have a PvT between Yeti and Famasi. Okay, I know Yeti just got replaced by Iris, but in the 3 sets they've played, Yeti got matched with Famasi in all 3 of them. How is that possible? What?
Wow, what a monster. Holy cow. That's awesome. I love that we have just basically both teams just pulling out all the stops. They're just going to kill each other over and over again for our amusement. It's so good, and this is why STPL is so good. I noticed we had over 200 viewers watching during this. I think that's an all-time STPL viewership high. So thank you so much to everybody out there for tuning in, for sharing this link on different social media or sites or wherever you post it. It's just really cool to see the Brood War community kind of get behind the most epic realization of this team league. There are other team leagues out there, but I think this one really does set up this colossal, it's over a year in the making, thousands of dollars on the line, and we've got it all here coming to fruition for all of you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you can support, you can use the Matcherino code in chat to donate $1 for free, I believe, if some of those codes are left. If not, that's how you can just donate.
You can donate to the prize pool through there. If you want to support further STPL projects, there is the STPL Patreon as well. Huge thank you not only to the viewers but also the players for giving us such amazing games to cast, and a huge thank you once again to you, Rapid. You have had probably the busiest 48 hours of StarCraft. Like,
Yeah.
you casted this yesterday, then you went to cast the GSL, then you went to watch KSL, then you came back here to cast again. So huge thank you to you, and we will be back on Monday as long as all the games get played, same time, same place, 2100 CEST, for some more STPL action. See you guys very soon. That's the wrong screen.